2, 3, 4.
Hey, what's with the blinds and DMPs for so long, man? I can't even think. Hey, what's with food on airplanes? I don't get it. Whatever happened to Bigfoot? I think we should make the whole plane out of black box. Whatever happened to Bigfoot? I think we should make the whole plane out of black box.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 157 of the Thumbstick Athletes Podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
I'm Eric.
Well,
Corey.
Today's episode is going to be on the Crew beta. Eric was awesome enough to send his beta key that he got, that he registered.
That he couldn't use.
That he couldn't use. He was kind enough to send it my way. We all signed up, except for maybe, Corey, did you sign up for the Crew beta?
I guess not.
Oh, okay. Why, because you didn't get it?
Did not everybody get it?
No, I didn't.
I
Will
didn't. I signed up 3 times.
Eric's the only one that got one, and he sent it my way.
I have no recollection of doing it, but that doesn't mean I didn't.
I didn't remember doing it either, to be honest, Corey.
It was probably just
That's what
right
I'm
after
saying.
E3.
I might have. I don't know.
Okay. So, yeah, that's what our episode's going to be about. I played probably an hour and a half worth of it to get a good feel for what it is. I had no idea, really. I just read a few things on the internet about what the game was about. So that's going to be our main topic for today. We also have a guest. My sister's boyfriend, Neil. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Glad to have you. Neil's a former professional hockey player, retired now. So we'll be probably talking plenty of hockey later on in the episode, right?
Yeah, considering we've got a total playtime of 2 hours on the Crew.
Yeah.
Combined.
And most of it was just exploring, just driving around to different places.
Yeah.
So Neil's going to have, you've got your top 5 favorite video games of all time, right?
I crunched the numbers a couple minutes ago, so I think I got something for you guys.
Nice. Neil also played a little Mario Kart 8 with us, so we can talk about that when we talk about that later.
I heard
too,
someone
so.
in the room's got quite the video game rage.
Oh, is that?
The Mirtha's sister.
Oh, I could see that.
That's what Will said.
I suffered from a little bit of video game rage too, but we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah, you guys all had it. Dan, you and Will really bad.
Well, I had good reason.
Will especially, from what I can remember.
I can remember laughing at you guys when you get so mad.
What?
Well, I had good reason, and we'll get into that later. So let's talk about the Crew. So the Crew it's an open world MMORPG car racing game. They described it as an MMOcaRPG, which makes sense because it is a very RPG like game. It's set in a condensed United States of America, and it's very open. We spent a lot of our time when we were playing it just driving around the map and seeing a lot of different areas. It takes quite a bit of time to drive, even not too far away, to different places. And I think I spent most of my time in the Northeast, and it takes quite a bit of time to drive from one area to the other. But it's got a storyline too, which apparently Will told me is 20 hours.
Yeah, I think I read on. I mean, it's Wikipedia, so take it
Right.
for what it's worth. I think they said the total story is 20 hours, which is crazy to me because most games now are 8 to 12.
Yeah.
And this is a racing game.
A racing
Call
game.
of Duty.
Yeah.
4.
Call of Duty 4 is 6 hours maybe. But yeah, it's got a storyline, which I'm the only one of us that played the story, and I enjoy it. You play an undercover FBI agent. I won't get into the specifics on why you become an undercover FBI agent. I'll save that for when people buy the game. But that kind of sets the basis for what the game is about, and it gives you a reason to do all the racing stuff that you're doing. It's not just racing for racing's sake. At least in the story, there's a reason for what you're doing. Which is cool. And Eric, actually, we watched one of the cutscenes from the game, and they were really well done.
Absolutely. It looked like a television show.
Yeah. It's very cinematic, both in the cutscenes and a lot of the racing. When you first start, it shows a cinematic, and it gives you a running start, and then you kind of start the race after your car's already gone. So it is a lot more cinematic than your average racing game. Graphics look good too.
Oh, yeah, you can definitely tell just from the 30 minutes that I played that it's a lot more in-depth and a lot more to it than any racing game I've played.
Yeah.
Personally. Not that my racing game knowledge is extensive by any means.
Right.
But
Right. Well, let's talk about the map first. I mean, we that was the main thing I wanted to do, was to get a feel for how big the map is. And I drove from you start the game, at least the demo, in Detroit, Michigan, and I drove from Detroit to like around where we live, upstate New York. Probably took me 15 minutes of going. I was going like 130 miles an hour the whole way, and it took me about 15 minutes in game to get from Detroit to, it's what's Detroit, like a 8-hour drive from here, 7-hour drive.
Cleveland, Ohio, 6 hours. So.
Okay, so yeah, Detroit's not too much further than that.
Yeah.
It's in eastern Michigan, but yeah, it took quite a while, and Will wanted to explore. Well, he went to New York City at first, and then.
Well, I started out in Ohio, and then
Right.
Going to visit LeBron's hometown?
Yeah, I wanted to say hi to the Blue Jackets and shake LeBron's hand and all that. So then I decided to go to where our hometown would be. So I drove there, which took, as Dan said, it took a little less because it was from Ohio, so 7 minutes probably. And then I went to New York City, got into an intense cop chase, and then fled the city, and then went through Chicago into Montana, which was really cool because Eric came in on Montana, and you can say that was a pretty cool area, right, with all the snow.
Yeah, the snow. I noticed right away that the snow gets built up on your car, which was neat because you don't see that in previous games. I don't feel like I never noticed it. But then we got talking about if there's changes in the seasons. We don't know for sure, but they definitely changed the settings in the different areas. Like he said, Montana was very hilly, and you're going up in the mountains, and there's snow all over the place. And then I drove to, where was I? There was like a fall setting.
That was in Virginia, like you were headed towards Washington.
Yeah, I was driving to
DC.
Washington D.C. and that was very. It looked very much like fall. There was a lot of orange leaves on the trees and stuff like that. So, it was pretty neat.
Yeah, we saw a few landmarks. Eric drove past the Washington Monument.
Yep.
It's cool to see that stuff.
Comerica Park.
Comerica Park in Detroit. Will drove past Yankee Stadium, which was also cool. We couldn't tell it was Yankee Stadium right away. I don't think it's like. What was it? It wasn't quote unquote Yankee Stadium. Was it, or was it like a generic baseball park that kind of looked like Yankee Stadium?
See, I haven't been to the new Yankee Stadium, so I'm not really sure what it looks like from the outside. But it was in the Bronx, and that's where the Yankee Stadium is. So
we went to
assumed.
the professional baseball field in the Bronx.
Yeah,
I did a tour of Brooklyn to see if I could find our Brooklyn studios. I found one small little strip that looked like Brooklyn to me, from what my experience has been in the Brooklyn studios. Before I found that, it looked more like Boston and really nice. It didn't have as much character as what I've seen down in Brooklyn.
Is there any really nice places in Brooklyn?
Yeah, like where the brownstones are and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like down, like towards Prospect Park. It's all like where families live, wealthy families that actually own their houses. So that would be the nice Brooklyn. Where I am, it's either hip or hard.
Okay.
Corey's definitely hard.
Yeah.
So hard. So yeah, we only explored like the northern part of the continent, the entire South. None of us went to it all. We almost made it as far as Seattle. I think was as far like we got into like the eastern Cascade Mountains. I think
we're probably like 20 minutes away from Seattle.
Yeah.
Game like real world time. Driving through the mountains of Montana, which are treacherous.
Yeah.
Well, then we got to Salt Lake City.
We got to Salt Lake City and
That
a little
was
bit
cool.
west of there, which, like I said, was probably eastern Cascade Mountains. Like I said, it's if you've ever played Euro Truck Simulator, which Corey I know you have, it's condensed a little bit like that.
Okay.
It's like that, but in the United States.
Where it takes 15 minutes to drive from Krakow to Berlin.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't picture the distances in that, but I read on Reddit people that have played it. Someone drove from Miami to Los Angeles. He said it took him about an hour and a half.
Damn.
Oh.
And that's going probably 130 to 150 miles an hour the whole way.
That's cool. I really liked Salt Lake City. The ski resorts were pretty neat.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I guess it was east of Salt Lake City in the mountains still.
Ski resort. Yeah.
There were ski resorts, and then you drove down. We should have gone to the Salt Lake. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't.
Yeah, It's fine.
I wanted to stay where I was familiar.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's when you wanted to go to Washington.
Yeah.
So we had to go back to Detroit because we could fast travel there, and then you drove, which took 20 minutes to get from Detroit to DC.
Yeah, probably around there.
Mostly on highway, a little bit of back roads and stuff. But
I have a question.
Yeah.
We're talking a lot about, the map of the U.S. and driving in familiar areas and stuff. Is that the draw of this game, or is there something else to it that's like, this is fun?
The draw for me is the RPG stuff, which I'll get into in a little bit. But
Okay.
that was one of the things that I wanted to experience when I played the beta, was to get a feel for how big the continent was, because
Gotcha.
that's one of the selling points of the game, is there's all these places you can go to, and even like the back roads will have stuff on them to do, like races and challenges and stuff that you can do. There wasn't all that stuff in the beta. The only place in the beta that had stuff was the Midwest region, so everything else was just you could explore, but there wasn't missions and stuff you could do in them. So but yeah, the more RPG stuff is really what's going to draw me to the game. You have a lot of different vehicles you can choose from. In the beta, you could only have the Chevy Camaro, the new one, the Ford Mustang, I think it's a 2011 Ford Mustang GT, and then the Dodge Challenger SRT, or it was the Nissan 370Z. Now, the three American cars were muscle cars, and I'm not as interested in muscle cars, so I ended up going with the 370Z because of the handling on it. But there's a lot of different cars, and I don't know that they've announced all of them yet, but I already know that I'm going to use the Focus RS, because that's like my car. So that's going to be the car that I'm going to use when I buy the full game. And I'm going to focus on off-road racing, because I like rally racing. So there's that. But yeah, there you can buy. I don't know. You could probably have a garage full of cars, I would imagine. You have like a headquarters where you keep track of your story missions. You keep track of your cars. You keep track of your own character. Like has upgrade levels and stuff. I've made it to level 3. And you unlock perks like better braking percentage, faster acceleration percentage that you can upgrade as you level up, and then your car itself has a level. So like you could have cars that are low level, cars that are high level. So they kind of grow independently of each other, which I think is cool. And as you do more with your car and races and stuff, you unlock levels specifically for that car. And obviously, the higher level the car, the better the stuff you can put on it. So, the better the performance. But there seems to be like a lot of parts. I looked at rims specifically, and there was like 250 pairs of rims that you could put on your car. So,
Dang.
That's a lot.
Rims.
Just rims. I didn't get into too many engine parts and stuff because I was low level and there wasn't a lot of stuff I could do for that. But there's also, different specs for your car, like for based on what you want to do. So there's the street spec, which is it tunes your car specifically for street type racing. There's the off-road, I think it's called dirt spec, which is for obviously off-road racing. There's one for raid, which I'm not sure what that is. So there's different specs, and like that'll gear your car more towards whatever type of racing you want to do too. So and then performance parts get upgraded through that. So that's kind of the RPG elements in a nutshell. And I really enjoyed the game. I thought the story was good, especially for a racing game. I was a lot more interested in it than I thought I would be. And that's only playing like 3 or 4 of the missions at the beginning. So graphically, it looks nice. I was very surprised by how big the map was. There's a lot of driving to do.
Yeah.
To explore everything, and
I like how they put the little waypoint line above in the air rather than on the road.
Yep, the GPS is up above your head in like a bright blue line,
I'll tell you
which
what,
is really cool.
I didn't even notice that, Corey, until you said it, and I think that that's a great point because it does feel a lot better up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to follow,
Yeah.
I think, than if it's on the ground or even right in front of your
It's
car.
just not intrusive.
Yeah, I think the UI as a whole is pretty nice.
It's really nice.
The bottom right-hand side is where your like mini map is, and you can have it be small or big. Like if you're driving around where you don't really know where you're going, you can have it be a little bit bigger. Takes up more of the screen, but you can, especially if you're at, in a busy city area and you need to see specifically what street you need to turn on. It'll make it a little bit easier. And then the bottom left-hand corner is the tachometer and the speedometer and all that fun stuff. So. The UI is nice looking.
I bet this game was a lot of fun to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can imagine. And it feels like Car Nuts kind of led the development, just because of all the minutia you can tune in your car, which is what interests me. One of the reasons I didn't like Car Mechanic Simulator was because it wasn't very specific, whereas this game, I feel like there's a lot more tuning you could do to your individual car, which is, something that definitely interests me. So, but yeah, it's definitely going to be a buy for me. I look forward to when we can get a crew together.
Yeah, I think that's
stomp some people online.
Going to be the meat of it for me.
Yeah,
is getting us all together and driving around and doing missions and
probably be bullies.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, we'll probably mess with people.
I'll only bully if I can be in a Yaris.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, if they're not going to release the RAV4, I'm not getting it.
Yeah, I can imagine Toyota will be in the game in some way. There's like a lot of the manufacturers only have one car. Ford and Chevy have multiple cars. Like BMW only has one car. There's a Bentley on there. I didn't see Porsche on there, but I know Porsche's on there. Yeah. So I can imagine they'll add... I was thinking maybe DLC they'll add more auto types. So.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
When's that one come out, do you know?
November 11th, I think.
Ooh, is something else coming out then?
Yeah.
Halo.
I think it is Halo.
Shit.
I think I saw on the schedule that's what comes out.
That's all right, though.
Totally different games.
Yeah,
it'd be good.
And Halo's not like a fresh thing or anything, so that's fine.
Yeah. I'm excited for it.
Me too, man.
It seems fun. Neil, I mean, you watched us play for a little bit. What was your impressions just watching on the computer screen from a distance?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, like you said, the cities are kind of, relate to...
Yeah,
I mean, I don't...
They're actual cities.
Yeah, like you guys were saying, I don't think they're exact replicas of the map or whatever, but... Yeah, looked pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice graphics. I was surprised at how, it being Ubisoft and them not doing a very good job with PC ports. It ran really well. Last night I had a little trouble with some stuttering, especially when it was loading. But when we played today, it was all like perfectly fine. It ran smooth as silk. So that was good. But yeah. If you have any interest in racing games, this is probably the way to go. Although there is quite a few racing games coming out this fall because Drive Club is coming out and Project Cars is coming out. But this at least for me is more my type of game. As I said, they called it an MMOcaRPG, which I think is cool. So,
I think Drive Club is kind of taking a back seat to the other two, even Project Cars.
Yeah. And I think part of the reason it's just coming out too late. It should have come out
when they said,
yeah, because I would have been interested. I'm not even if it's the free version. I won't play on Drive Club now, just because of the Crew and Project Cars. So.
And if you're not going to play it, that kind of defeats the purpose of me playing it,
right?
Because
I don't know about Will. Because Will, doesn't you don't really care for much for racing games, right?
No, I usually don't like them at all, but I liked this one.
Yeah.
So that'll be my racing game of choice this season.
There you go.
There it is, the endorsement from Will Murtha himself.
Yeah, get the Crew.
Are they paying you?
I wish.
Yeah. Right.
I wish.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other thoughts on the Crew?
Not for me, Dan.
Yeah, I'm hoping I think the beta ends tomorrow.
Oh, does it?
I think it wasn't very long. It was only like 5 or 6 days. So I'm hoping I can get some more time with it and play a little bit more of the story and maybe do some of the side missions. But yeah, so far so good. I'm digging it. I think it'll be nice to play it on a TV too. I'll be getting it for PS4 because this computer chair is not comfortable.
Yeah.
Because it's my old one, and it's just better to sit in front of a TV for that type of game. At the very least, I did have a controller, so I wasn't trying to play a racing game on PC with keyboard and mouse, because I think that would be terrible.
This beta was PC only?
PC only, yeah.
That's silly, right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe they were capitalizing on the people that were left out of the Destiny beta, myself included.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Kind of smart.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll do a console beta. That would be nice, because maybe I'll actually get into it and not have a ton of issues. Like I said, it's just funny to me that Eric was the one that got the beta
The
key.
one who couldn't play it on PC.
Right.
It's that good Irish luck of Eric's.
I've had a lot of it lately.
Yeah, I've had zero luck with betas. Zero. But what can you do? So anyway, yeah, that's the crew. I really did like it so far, so you got my endorsement at this point. We'll see how it is when it comes out, though. Ubisoft has a little trouble with their stuff.
I'm probably going to buy it regardless
Yeah.
of reviews.
I will too.
I'm not even going to wait for the reviews. But
I will too. Just because like I said, it's my type of game. But anyway, do we want to do Nibble Bits?
I got mine ready, man.
Yeah,
I meant to do
sure.
that at the beginning of the episode, and I forgot. So we'll do them now. Eric, go ahead. What do you got for
All right,
us?
I just got two this week. I just wanted to talk about the PlayStation Play promotion that they've done for a few years now. The lineup for this year is really good. I'm excited for it. Starting July 29th, Rogue Legacy, which, have we all played that?
Yeah.
Will?
Yeah.
You played that?
Yeah, I played
Did
it a
we
little
all
bit on
beat it?
PC. No.
3 of us beat it.
3 of us beat it.
And all liked it a lot.
Yeah.
So that's July 29th. The Swapper comes out August 5th, which Corey and I played. Dan, did you play that one?
No, I have it. I just haven't played it.
You'll like it. It's a tough puzzle game with a really, really cool setting. Then Ho Ho Come comes out August 12th, which looked interesting. I don't know a lot about it, but it's one of those artsy indie games. And then Counter Spy, which I actually know nothing about, is August 19th. But these are all cross-buy for Vita, PS3, and PS4.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah. And this is the promotion where if you buy any 2, you get $3 back. Any 3, you get $6 back. And if you buy all 4, you get $10 back.
Wow.
PlayStation Plus members get 20% off pre-orders. So,
Nice.
yeah, looking forward to that. And my other one, just in case you didn't have enough games to buy this fall, Persona Q for 3DS is coming to North America on November 25th. I know it's a big franchise.
Dang
Nothing
it.
we've played.
I've not played it, but I've really wanted to.
Yeah, me too. So, yeah,
I don't know if I could squeeze another game into my
I know that
fall
I
lineup.
can't, yeah. Even if I could, I couldn't. I don't think I could afford one.
Right.
I can't squeeze another nickel out.
Yeah. I hear you. We'll see when we get there. I might be able to swing it,
Yeah.
Okay. Will, what about you?
I only have one, and Ed Sheik was announced to be a playable character in Hyrule Warriors, so I remember when we were worried that Link was the only playable character in this game, but I think they've announced, maybe close to 10
Yeah, they've announced quite a few characters.
so
Cool.
the game's shaping up for me to be a must-buy.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think
So-
if you have a Wii U, you should probably get Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, when's it coming out again? Is it
September 26th.
September. Ooh, that's not too far off
Yeah.
at all.
No.
Ah, it's almost August, you guys.
I know.
Crazy, right?
We were talking
Yeah.
about this before we fired the old show up.
Yikes.
Time goes by too goddamn fast.
Yeah.
All right, I will go next. PlayStation 4 is getting 3D Blu-ray support next week. I file that one under I don't really care. But at the same time, I think once the Morpheus comes out, I think this is going to be a lot more of an interesting feature. I can't picture myself ever buying a 3D TV, wearing the stupid 3D glasses just to watch a movie. But, once Morpheus comes out and the movies are designed around being actually 3D and not just some images popping off the screen, I think it'll be a lot more of a neat feature, Corey, any interest in 3D?
I no,
Blu-rays?
and we're definitely not alone. And I still don't get how that really sort of took off for 2 years.
I don't think it did. I think they were trying to force it down our throats.
Right, but that's what I don't understand. What a waste! They had to have known nobody really cared about it. Why spend the amount of money they spent on developing the 3D video was probably not worth what they made back in the a little bit of extra money towards ticket sales.
Yeah. Maybe, do you think they were trying to get they thought it might be big and they were trying to get in early type of
That's
thing?
how I'm confused. Like, how could they think that?
Yeah.
It was almost universally like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe like kids liked it, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
The only movie I saw in 3D was Avatar.
Which was a good example of it.
Yeah, the movie was terrible, but the 3D in it was good. But it didn't really add anything. I didn't think to the movie to make it a better movie.
There's another one I saw that I thought was really well done was Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yeah, I heard the animated ones are a little bit better with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Animated movies are. And I think maybe How to Train Your Dragon I saw in 3D as well, and that was all right. I unfortunately saw the first Hobbit movie in 3D. I didn't want to,
right.
But the group I was with wanted to. And it just bothered me. I just hate having to wear glasses.
Yeah. Especially dirty glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Because
you see they did that study where they took one out of a movie theater and swabbed it and put it in the Petri dish and grew the cultures and stuff, and they, like, all this nasty bacteria was over them. And
well, I just know that if I was the one cleaning them, if I looked at them and they looked okay, I'd be like, okay, they're clean, and just move them along, you know?
Oh, God, yeah.
So
even if they didn't look clean, I'd say, yeah, these look clean.
Right, yeah, these are good. So, yeah, there's that. And then along more interesting lines, 2K is teasing something BioShock related. I don't know if any of you guys saw this, but 2K had like a poster almost from one of the older games. It was like a mermaid almost that had Eve on it. Something about, I don't know. I read it, but people were of course speculating on what that could mean, and a lot of people seem to think it was a HD remake of all the BioShock games. Would anyone be interested in HD remakes of BioShock 2?
Not I.
I would.
Yeah, I would.
I would be I really like BioShock 1, BioShock 2 not as much, but I would be interested in a high def remake with in the BioShock Infinite engine. I think would be cool. Some other people speculated maybe that strategy game that they had talked about making for the Vita, but making that for everything.
The one that Ken Levine said was going to be like Final Fantasy Tactics
in
the BioShock universe.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah, so I'm interested in seeing. People were hoping it wasn't a mobile game because that was also speculated.
Everyone but Corey was hoping that.
Right. Everyone's like, "Oh God, I hope it's not a crappy mobile game," because Irrational Games is like closed down, right? Or did they just?
Yeah, they've shuttered.
Okay, so Ken Levine just started a new studio that he's working on something else on.
He said he was going to work on smaller stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that means anything BioShock would not be Ken Levine related, right?
I don't know. I don't know who owns that IP. I don't know if that was part of whatever agreement. I don't know how that whole thing shook out.
Yeah.
I assume he could make something BioShock if he wanted to, you know.
Probably. It's kind of his baby. So
yeah, I mean, he could still make something BioShock with his new studio and have it be published by 2K, right?
Yeah.
There's no reason why not.
Yeah. Okay. So that was interesting. I'm hoping it's not a mobile game. That would be terrible.
Well, they did it to me with Deus Ex, so
That's true.
I hope everybody gets crushed with a mobile game.
I think that's what people were thinking when they saw that.
Yeah.
So, and then my last one is, where was it?
Maybe the next Last of Us will be a mobile game.
Mobile, yeah, with microtransactions. That would be great.
That would be disheartening.
Yeah, it would.
What did I read about that, Eric? This week, the news about The Last of Us. It was like
it's going to be like a one-time stage show they're doing of The Last of Us.
Oh
That's
no, I
kinda
was
neat.
thinking about the installation for
Oh,
PS4.
it's 50
like
gigs.
50 gigs.
Yeah,
My hard drive is going to be filled up in no time.
50 gigos.
I'm going to have to get a
But
new one.
but now that you bring it up, a stage play.
Yeah,
Yeah, one-time stage performance of The Last of Us.
Where are they going to do it?
Los Angeles, I think.
Ah, crap.
Yeah, sorry, Corey. I think it was Los Angeles. I'm pretty sure it was Los Angeles. But anyway, moving on. October's load was lightened a little bit. I was going to say BioShock Infinite. Dragon Age Inquisition was delayed from its original date, October 7th, which is great because there's a lot of games coming out early October, but also on October 7th. Got moved back to November 18th, which is the same day as Far Cry 4. So I don't know if they added anything by moving it later, but
So What day was that coming out? The same day as Assassin's Creed?
Shadows of Mordor.
Mordor and
Okay.
Originally.
a few others too.
Yeah, there's a lot of games coming out. And Drive Club was supposed to come out on the 7th. I think there was like 2 other games that weren't as big, but Skylanders is coming out on the 5th. The 3rd, I think it's the 3rd that Smash Brothers 3DS is coming out. So that was a busy or expensive few days. Busy release game dates. So that's actually good for me.
I was kind of hoping I got pushed to next year because I have like 14 PlayStation
To next
4.
February, Will?
Yeah, I have like 14 PlayStation 4 games that like are on my list for that I want, and I'm just like, I can't spend like $800.
Yeah.
Dude, I know when you put it in money terms as opposed to number of game terms.
Yeah.
It makes you kind of ill.
Yeah, you're like, geez, well, I can't do that.
Well,
You gotta. Here's what you gotta do. You gotta put it in which of these am I actually gonna play terms.
Corey,
Well, in Will's case, none of them.
I bought Murdered Soul Suspect that I hadn't even played it and traded it in.
Did you get rid of it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna get it on PC when it's really cheap.
I'll play all the games. It's if they're good, I'll keep playing them. If they're not good, I'll trade them in.
Speaking of, Dan, I forgot Watch Dogs again.
That's okay. I'm not at this point. I'm not gonna because Last of Us comes out next week, so
Well, I'm excited for you to play
I'll
that.
have that. And PlayStation Now beta comes out the end of next week, so I'll have that.
Is that open?
Watch Dogs.
I think it's open beta, yeah, because it's closed beta now.
You better get your purse out for that one.
Well, I think everything's going to be free during the beta.
Your purse.
I won't buy anything, but I think they're not going to have everything on there. It's going to be just a handful of games, you know. But yeah, no, I wouldn't buy anything. I just wouldn't bother with it if I had to pay for anything.
Especially at those prices.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, you know, especially since I'm going to be saving for all the million games that are coming out in the fall. So
I know. Ugh.
So there's that. Corey, what do you got for Nibblebits?
Titanfall now has in-game currency, of which you can use to buy burn cards and Titan insignias, which, if I remember correctly, didn't you guys say burn cards were already in abundance?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, and useless pretty much.
I think maybe certain ones people would want to buy,
Okay.
like to.
A couple overpowered ones.
Yeah, I think Titanfall's trying too hard anymore to stay relevant.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. I don't know how many people are still playing it.
that come out this year?
Yeah, I really liked it when it came out. It was a lot of fun to play for the first 30 hours I think I spent playing it, and then once I was done, I deleted it. I have zero interest in going back to play it. But I got my money's worth. I think 30 hours is a good amount.
I didn't
Yeah,
get
that-
my money's worth.
No.
I got more enjoyment out of Forza.
Yeah, because you bought an Xbox One, and that was like one of the first games you got for it. Right?
Titanfall's the first game I bought for it.
Yeah, it was the Titanfall bundle, wasn't it?
No, it came with Forza. They were out of the Titanfall bundle.
Yeah,
So I bought Titanfall. And
played it for what, a week, 2 weeks?
yeah, I mean, every now and again I had a game that was fun, or a match that was fun, but
Yeah.
for the most part it was pretty bleh.
Yep.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
That's shooters now, though.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Except for Destiny.
Okay.
So it's called the Black Market, and it opens up once you're at level 11. And the criteria by which you receive the in-game currency is a little bit different. You can do different things. One of them is winning a match, completing daily challenges, kind of like Hearthstone does, etc. Once you hit level 50, a percentage of your XP will become currency. I think level 50 must be the cap or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Before you
Okay.
hit the what generations?
Yep, Generations.
Wow.
We're
So,
knowledgeable.
yeah, I mean, immediately I thought, oh boy, this is just going to open the door to microtransactions. But they kind of got out ahead of that and said, don't worry, we promise we will never have microtransactions in Titanfall.
So you only use in-game currency that you earn to buy these things.
Earned in-game, yes.
That's fine. I don't mind that.
No, I don't mind that either. That's what I do in Hearthstone. I mean, they give you two options. You can earn the currency or you can buy it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, as long
fine.
as there's a way you can earn it and it doesn't take a ridiculous amount of hours
right.
spent to equal the actual money you would spend.
Right. I mean, it's
Fine.
kind of like the whole Warcraft thing. If you want to spend $60 for a level 90 character, okay.
Well, it's the same
You know?
thing. Yeah, Guild Wars 2 is another example. You can buy the gems or you can earn the gems and trade them on the market, or earn gold and trade them for, gems on the market, There's an exchange rate and everything, so...
Yeah.
Not that anything... Most things in Guild Wars are cosmetic. other than like boosts, but which are more experience boosts.
Yeah, it's not really boosts that affect like gameplay, right? It's
No,
just,
the
like
only
you said,
thing,
like experience.
the only thing, like I bought a pickaxe that wasn't indestructible.
For mining.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Yeah,
But
that's not even.
No, because you still have to go
Whatever.
and gather the resources.
Sure.
So
You can now transfer your Wii U data from one console to another. This would have been useful to me when I first got my Wii U. As of July 21st, you can transfer users, Nintendo Network IDs, save data, and downloaded content from one to the other, so long as they are both working. So my issue when I got my Wii U was that my Nintendo Network ID that was tied to my 3DS was started on Will's Wii U. So once I got my Wii U, I couldn't transfer from Will's Wii U that Nintendo ID to mine. So I ended up having to delete both IDs and just make new ones. So that's how I lost all my Street Pass games on my 3DS, was because I had to create a new Nintendo Network ID that was tied to the Wii U that I have now.
Gotcha.
Which was kind of unfortunate. I kind of wish this feature was available. I'm not sure if you must be able to do it over the internet, right?
You'd think.
My question is, they just added this?
Yep.
How long's the Wii U been out? 2 years?
About 2 years, yeah.
Wow. I can't believe it's 2 years old.
Oh, Nintendo.
Just gotta laugh, you know?
Yeah.
That's all you can do. That's how you cope with Nintendo.
I just laugh.
Yeah. But that's all I got.
Okay. You want to talk about your week, Corey? What'd you do?
I just wanted to briefly touch on two things. On my way back from Binghamton on Monday, I watched all of Star Trek Into Darkness,
Oh.
which is the newest Star Trek movie. It's been on Netflix for I think it came out in 2013. It's been out about a year.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch that really bad.
Yeah, me too.
I love
really
the
liked
first one.
the first reboot that they did,
Yeah.
just Star Trek, and I was really looking forward to this one. And I actually really, really liked this movie. It was a little bit not as good as the first one. The first one was super tight and buttoned up and everything, and this one was a little bit more Hollywood blockbuster. But it got me into Star Wars lore a little bit because I like how they're doing the alternate universe kind of reboot, and that's how they explain
Star Trek lore.
Star Trek. Yeah, they're doing the alternate universe reboot, and that kind of explains how all this old Star Trek stuff exists, but they're redoing it in the new films, and they explain that with the alternate universe theory, and both versions of Spock are in the movies, and it's kind of crazy, but I like it a lot. But this is super nerdy, but I went back and started watching the old Wrath of Khan movie, because in this one, a little bit of a spoiler, the main bad guy is Khan from old Star Trek. So I went and downloaded a Star Trek podcast just to hear what they thought of the movie, which is also super nerdy. But come to find out, I really kind of like the Star Trek lore, and I like how Star Trek's thing is it's more about the science and realism of everything that's happening rather than versus the Star Wars where it's more about just like crazy whatever.
Star Wars it's the hero's journey. It's an opera,
Right.
It's about the story.
Exactly. And 10 years ago, me would be totally disagreeing with me now, but I don't know. I started hearing a little bit about like the backstories and everything and how it all tied together and how little hints in Star Trek Into Darkness, they gave you little hints about like older lore and stuff, and it was just really cool. So yeah, I'm kind of into Star Trek now. Is that weird?
No, I really liked it. I saw the first, the first reboot Star Trek movie, and I really liked it. I thought it was really good. And I was never really into Star Trek. I was always more of a Star Wars guy. And it's kind of weird that J.J. Abrams is directing both of them.
Yeah.
I still find that to be odd.
Hey, they picked the right guy.
Yeah, exactly. He does a nice job with the stuff he works on. So
yeah, we really can't complain about that.
No.
And the other thing I wanted to mention, Dan, you'd be interested in this. I don't think I mentioned it yet. I've been meaning to mention it. I've been reading Little Brother, the book by Cory Doctorow, who has sort of been an idol of mine the past 5-10 years. Maybe not 10, maybe 5 years. But what he does is he's an author, and he writes all his books and puts them out on Creative Commons.
Oh.
So you can just download them, read them for free if you want, and he looks at it as, if you like me and you want to support me, you can buy the hardcover, and a lot of people do, and that's how he makes his living. But he wrote Little Brother as sort of a response to the government's response of 9/11, like the Patriot Act and all that stuff. And it takes place in the near future, and it's about these kids that react. There's a terrorist attack in San Francisco, and there's these young kids who are all a bunch of hackers, and it's their like fight back against Homeland Security and stuff, and everything they do. And it's funny because there's this thing, I forget what they call it, but it's the future Xbox. It was before Xbox One was announced. So like Xbox 360 exists in this book, but then there's another Xbox, and that's where all the hackers they communicate through this hacked version of this Xbox called the XNet.
Huh.
It's all really cool and really smart, and if a lot of people have heard us complain about this kind of stuff, so it's pretty on point with some of the stuff we think about and talk about. So I definitely recommend it. Little Brother by Cory Doctorow.
I'll have to look into that. That sounds good.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I've been reading it through the internet on a web browser.
Uh-huh.
You can find it anywhere.
Cool. All right, that everything, Corey?
Yes.
All right, Eric, what do you got for us?
For my week,
Yeah.
I didn't really do much, Dan. I'll have more to report next week. I'm heading down to New York City tomorrow after work for a
Get
weekend
some Archie's Pizza with me.
of Arsenal and Archie's Pizza. Yeah, we're in talks of maybe some Rogue Legacy while I'm down there. So,
Risk Legacy.
did I say Rogue Legacy?
Yes.
Risk Legacy. There will be no Rogue Legacy being played. No. But
I think it's going to happen, Eric. Just so you know.
Well, I hope it does happen. I'm looking.
Saturday at 8 p.m. Is that too early?
Depends. I don't know how far away Red Bull's Arena is from your place. Harrison, New Jersey?
That's a hike.
Is it? How far is it?
Well, I mean, it's New Jersey, so it's at least an hour.
Fuck me. Yeah, it's too early, Corey. But we'll figure that out off air.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm going down to the city for Arsenal and hopefully get to hang out with Jared and Corey a bit too. So I don't really have much other than that.
Yeah.
When did we record last?
Sunday.
That's why I feel
It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you, Will?
I actually did a few things this week.
Nice.
No.
Yeah, surprising, right? Well, I mean, Neil and Allison are here, who, Allison's our sister, and, so they're in, and the coolest thing that we did was shooting off some guns on, what day was it, Tuesday? Wednesday?
Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday, yeah. So, one of my dad's friends who lives in PA, took us to his property, and we shot off a bunch of guns, and boy, was that a blast.
How come you don't do cool stuff like that when I'm there?
I'll go shooting fucking guns anytime you want, Will.
I mean, I don't know. Just take it up with mom and dad. I don't know. You're the golden child, so you shouldn't complain.
Yeah, but you're the baby, Will.
They don't care.
The display that I saw at your family's party this past week, where you asked for tea from your mother upwards of 17 times, and she came out with a canister of tea. I'd say they do care.
It wasn't a hot tea, though.
Yeah, and then you complained that it wasn't hot. That's right. She did draw the line there.
I think when I asked for tea, it reminded her that she didn't put out the tea.
Finally, she was just like, leave me alone.
And I do the thing is whenever she comes in, I'm always like, hi, Mom. Kind of obnoxiously, and I already had bothered her the whole day, so she was getting really annoyed at that point, even when I didn't want anything. Just saying hi. But anyway, back to the guns. So yeah, I don't remember what the specifics of the guns we shot off. I only remember the AR-15.
The 22, a shotgun, and then I'm not big with the rifles, but like a 22,
and
225 or 225?
225? I think that's what it is. I don't know. It made a really loud sound and had some kickback.
Larger caliber bullet, I guess, than the 22. So
I owned a 22, and I have a 20 gauge shotgun. But that's all I've ever shot.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we were just shooting with the 22. That was the first gun we were shooting off, and we had a target that was I don't know, 50 yards or something
25.
25 yards.
Oh, it was 50. Sorry.
50. Confirmation from Allison. 50. Yeah, so we're shooting 50, and it wasn't that far. So we're hitting it in the the target area. So then we shot off the 225 at 100. or whatever. And then, like, after we took a couple shots with that, he had to shoot water jugs that were 200 yards out. And all 5 people who shot hit the water jug on their first shot.
Wow.
So apparently we're some marksmen. And then after that, we shot clay pigeons with shotguns.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like there was like one person on the right side, one person on the left side, and he'd fire it into the air. For anybody who's shot clay pigeons, they're familiar with this. And like the person on the right would shoot, and then if they missed, the person on the left got to shoot. So that's how we did it, and like we did that for probably hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And then he, like, to let the shotguns cool off, he brought out the AR-15. We shot off, but
It's a sweet looking gun.
man, was it so much fun.
AR-15, you say?
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up.
He said
It looks like an M16.
he said it's a civilian version of the M16. Yeah, the M16.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as while I'm firing this thing off in this field we're in, a little doe or buck, I don't know what the name is for a baby, comes trotting down the middle of this clearing.
Neil just drops
It
it.
was very safe. It knew its parameters quite well. But,
it's like, I know it's not hunting season. You can't shoot me.
But yeah, in the midst of all this artillery going off, this little baby deer decides to cruise in the middle of this field. It's
That's
kind of funny.
I'm pacing back and forth, taunting, kind of.
That's funny.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was funny to see my mom shoot guns too.
Your mom was...
Is there video footage of this?
Not of her. I got a couple pictures of her shooting. My favorite one of her shooting is when she's shooting the rifle. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to send those to me.
Yeah, it was funny, and like she was always really excited whenever she hit a clay pigeon. But yeah, it was hard, so it's impressive.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's impressive when anybody hits it. That thing it was not easy. I was just kind of shooting aimlessly, trying to hit it. But yeah, that was so much fun.
There was kind of an incident with the Mirtha mom, Ellen, pointing a loaded gun at people. But
Sloppy Joe Day, huh?
everyone's no worse for wear, so
Yeah.
we made it through.
What happened with that exactly? You told the story, but
Basically, what happened was she didn't want to shoot any more guns, and we kind of like forced her up to do it again one more time. So of course, like right off the start from there, like she didn't want to keep going. She just kind of wanted to sit down and watch us do it. But it was me and her were kind of doing the square off, and I was on the left, so like I only was on the left, so I shot second every time. And what he did is he loaded up 2 bullets in both the shotguns to get us all like more of a rapid fire thing. And she had the pump shotgun, but she hit it on her first shot, the clay pigeon. So like I dropped my gun, and she was really excited, and she pumped, and she had like a big smile, and she turned, and the gun was pointed at all of us, and we were all like, I like almost dove out of the way and stuff like that. Neil was just backing up like that. It was really funny, and our dad was just like, Ellen, what are you doing? Yelling at her.
Ugh.
And she's like,
That's pretty scary.
It is, yeah. And she's like, I told you this would happen.
So when this AR-15 come out, and what happened was the whole day we'd kind of just take a couple shots with all these guns and, switch off or whatever. But when it was her turn, our guide made sure that he was within, I don't know, arm's reach of her. So,
Yeah. And he's still directly behind her in case she
yeah, just in case.
Well, she hit the Gatorade bottle, and then as it tipped over, she kept shooting it.
taking out some anger from raising us.
Dang.
That was from me asking for tea 17 times.
Yeah, it
It was
was.
probably a stress-free ride home, huh?
Yeah, you get all
Mom's
your
been in
anger
a good mood ever since.
shooting guns.
Yeah, she was pretty stress-free.
Yep, everyone's feeling good.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. I had never shot a gun before, so doing that was an experience, and I wanted to shoot everything he had. He's I don't know, it was awesome.
You ever want to go hunting, Will?
I don't know. People hunting?
No, well, no, Jesus.
I don't think I could shoot a critter.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just like shooting the guns. It's fun.
I kind of think I want to go deer hunting, but I'm not sure.
Well, my thought is you have to get up really early in the morning, and then you have to go sit in the freezing cold woods.
It's like
Then
going to a Bills game.
And then, that's why I like going to hockey games, because it's indoors. Well, I mean, I like the sport too, obviously. But then if you kill something, you have to gut it and drag it. Yeah, that's not my kind of thing.
See, I really
I'm
enjoy
far
the
too
cold,
lazy for that.
so I think I could do it.
I don't like it. I don't like being outdoors in general.
But it's so nice out, Dan.
Meh.
I've never got these people who and I don't know how it is out here, but in my part of the woods, Saskatchewan, they all want to kill a deer, and then they kill this thing and they make sausage with them. I'm like, well, what's in it? They're like, well, 80% pork, 20%
Yeah,
deer. Well,
it's only a little bit of deer.
I don't know. I don't quite see the point in it. But
Yeah.
Well, my girlfriend's family, big hunters. And I always feel a little bit out of place when I go up there because I'm not really... I grew up in the country, but I definitely would not call myself a country boy.
Yeah.
But
I just always play the lazy card. I don't like going outside. I don't want to shoot anything.
I don't think she wants
Other
me
than
to play
targets.
the lazy card, though. That's the
No.
thing. She understands not wanting to go hunting, though.
Yeah.
But I want her dad to think I'm a man.
Right.
I think he already knows I'm not, though.
Well, just tell him you prefer to hunt him with a hatchet.
Yeah.
He's going to look at me and be like, you're not fucking running a deer down.
No, jump out of a tree.
You're not climbing a fucking tree.
There you go.
He knows better than that. I watch soccer, for God's sake. You think he respects that, Dan?
No.
You haven't told him, have you?
I've watched it at his house.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you're trouble. Oh.
He's going to advise her not to marry you.
Jeez. I don't know, maybe.
No, I'm just kidding.
Jesus. Kill myself.
Eric's like, oh, I didn't think about that. Damn it. But anyway, did you do anything else, Will?
Probably. I don't know.
It's been a short week. It's only been a few days.
Yeah, I mean, we had the welcome home Allison to Neil party.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, Neil.
/ your dad's 60th birthday party, I thought.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
kind of a general party.
A Martha party.
But yeah, Neil played hockey here in Binghamton, so he's kind of having a homecoming too of sorts. What do you think about being back in?
I relived some old glory today at the Broome County Memorial Veterans Arena.
Did you?
So it was good. I always enjoy going in there, and
They gave you the keys to the rink when you left, right?
yeah. Didn't hang my number up in the rafters, but they do let me break in. Well, not break in.
Sneak in.
The door was open, but snuck in a door to get into the actual arena there. And other than that, just no, it's nice seeing the town, getting around again. Place you lived for a couple of years, so it's been good.
Nice. Okay.
Will, you got told that you have a receding hairline, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got a haircut because I do the thing where I let my hair grow out until it's ridiculously long, and my dad berates me until I get it cut. So then I get it cut really short, and while I was getting it cut short, the very Italian hair dude told me I have a receding hairline, and I'm too young to have that, so that really helped my confidence.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't worry.
What can you do?
I feel it receding right now.
I've been looking at it this entire episode,
I know.
and it's receded a couple centimeters.
So sad.
What's your hairdresser's name? Vito?
Yeah, Vito. I have no idea what his last name is.
Good for him.
It's probably Corleone.
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 I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll take a quick break and be back with what we played right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 157 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. We are in our What We Played This Week segment, but we're going to be talking to Neil right now, actually. Neil's got his list of top 5 favorite video games, and Corey also has some questions that he wants to ask him. So, Neil, let's hear your top 5 favorite games of all time. Now, we should quantify this by saying you're not into video games, really, right? Like, it's not... You've played them, obviously, but...
I've played them. I mean, nowadays, no, I really don't, other than
the little bit of Mario Kart we played. And
half an hour Mario Kart I've gotten in the last couple days. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a while,
okay.
for sure. But sure, if you want me to run them down...
Let's hear it.
I'll start with, I was telling Will, I guess it would have been yesterday, that I owned a Sega Genesis when Yeah, when I was about, I don't know how old when they came out or whatever.
It's probably like 20 years ago, maybe. Were you about 10, 11,
sure,
12?
We'll say that. But yeah, I had NHL 93.
Oh, okay.
So that was my only game.
Oh, yeah.
So I put that on my list. I've got Mario Kart. I played a lot of that in college.
Do you remember which one?
The Nintendo 64.
Okay.
Is that the first
Mario
one?
Kart 64. That was the second one.
Okay.
Great game.
Yes, it was. That was a fantastic game.
We spent plenty of hours playing that. I have Tiger Woods.
Uh-huh.
Played that more when I was playing hockey professionally a little bit.
Okay.
I would say that was the game I played the most.
Yeah,
And
the Tiger Woods games were good.
and I guess to add to that, I had Guitar Hero in this top
Yeah.
5 too, because I had a roommate of mine here in Binghamton that we would pretty much play that every day after practice till about supper time.
Which one was it?
I couldn't even tell you. I think he had a couple of them.
No, who's your roommate?
Oh, sorry, Fata.
Oh, okay.
Drew
Fada.
Fata.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Nice.
the last one I had in here was ice hockey and for Nintendo, and that was I got a Nintendo around, I guess I would say 8 or something like that, and that was the first game my old man bought me, so
Nice.
I chucked that on the list too. So
That's fantastic.
I'd say, as far as games go, I didn't play much else than those. So,
What would you say your favorite of those 5 is? Or was?
I'd say Mario Kart actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a good choice. That's a classic game.
Yeah.
And even nowadays, it's still it holds up well. It still plays nicely.
for sure. Yeah, so
Okay.
that's
Very
what I'll go with.
nice. Well, thanks for that, Neil. All right, Corey, fire away.
Yeah, let 'em
All
know.
right, so it's not often. A, I get to interview a professional athlete, and B, we have a professional athlete
Semi-professional.
on the podcast.
No, it's
Pretty
professional.
professional.
Yeah.
So, Neil, I guess it would be best to start at the beginning with the Kindersley Clippers. And my question is, what are the Kindersley Clippers?
What are the Kindersley Clippers? Well, Kindersley's a town in Saskatchewan. I would say it's 200 kilometers west of Saskatoon, if anyone knows where that is. Almost on the Alberta border.
Okay.
And a clipper is our logo was a plane, so
It's the plane clipper, not the ship clipper.
yeah, exactly. So that's my answer to that.
What's that league? The SJHL?
Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League.
Gotcha.
What are the ages?
That would be under 20, so 20-year-olds would be the oldest guys in that league too.
Okay, so it's the same level as the CHL, the same
Exactly.
age groups as that.
just the step below.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, Corey.
All right, so wait, when did you play that then? Like,
I was 17 and 18. My last
So-
year in high school, and then my first year out of high school.
okay, I never really understood how that whole thing works. So you're still in school and you'd go like summer or weekends or mornings or what?
Our particular team, we'd practice at lunchtime. So I believe, from what I can remember, I took a couple classes before lunch. Was done that at 10:30, and then went to practice from I'd say 11:30 to 1, and then rush. The high school's right beside the rink, so then we'd just rush back for class at 1:30 or something like that.
Okay.
So we got the full. I graduated on time, so
Was that an issue with people not graduating on time if they didn't get enough credits or whatever?
the Saskatchewan Junior League, there's not many high school kids playing. It's mostly 18 to 20-year-olds, but
Okay.
there's a few, but I don't think too many guys had an issue, maybe other than our local legend maybe around these parts, John Morasti, but
Okay. Yeah.
That makes sense.
it's undetermined if he got through high school, but
Bless his heart.
yeah.
Okay.
There's Morasti diploma-ers out there, just like there's Obama birthers.
Exactly.
So you were drafted 8th round, 235th overall by the Ottawa Senators in 2001. My question is, we always hear the stories about the early rounder guys getting drafted and what they're doing and their parties and everything, but I was curious what it's like to go like in the later rounds and what were you expecting?
Well, I believe I was rated 110th going into the draft in North America. So you add in the Europeans, and that kind of pushes you to where kind of I ended up getting picked. But this particular time, the night before, I had gotten so drunk. Like
I remember hearing the story.
near death. We're talking like passed out in the park, woke up, made her home somehow on foot. Parents weren't too pleased with me, but it ended up actually I was still sleeping, and I kind of heard these like I slept downstairs and I heard these steps like running down the stairs or whatever, and my old man comes in my bedroom, must have flicked on the lights or something like that, and he started chanting Ottawa. So that's how I found out. Anyways, he had seen it. They were watching like just the ticker, TSN, or one of the sports channels in Canada, the ticker or whatever, and it had popped on. So that's the story about that.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of had to be kind of excited though, right?
I was pumped. I was
Yeah.
definitely pumped.
Being Ottawa.
Well, I don't think it really mattered to me who, but it worked out okay. And
Say you could have picked a team.
no.
No?
I mean, people always ask me now if I have favorite teams and stuff like that. Other than
Hockey fan first.
Yeah, other than my Rough Riders in the Canadian Football League, I can't say I have one. So yeah,
Fair enough.
whoever it would have been A-okay with me at the time, I'm sure.
So you then spent the next 4 years as a Minnesota Duluth Bulldog, where you earned UMD's Rookie of the Year award after playing in more games than any other rookie. Is that accurate?
I would say probably, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I did my research.
Yeah.
See,
Sounds like you did.
what brought you to Minnesota?
You know what? I went on a couple school visits in the D1 loop. I went to Northern Michigan, Bowling Green, Western Michigan, Duluth, and St. Cloud. And I think I just picked there. The assistant coaches, they're pretty cool. They showed us around town, and actually it was the only visit I went on that I got drunk at too. So maybe
that helped a little bit.
maybe that played a role too. The older guys got us into the bar. So
Which, from what I understand, they really advise against.
yeah, I mean, I've got a story about recruiting. We had Joe Pavelski of the San Jose Sharks visiting Duluth, and I was around. I didn't end up going out with the guys, but they took him to one of the local establishments, and I guess got him pretty inebriated and brought him back to his hotel room, and it ended up being his parents were staying with, or came on the visit with him, I guess.
Oh.
And, brought him to the door, and I guess his mother wasn't too impressed. Kind of.
Imagine.
I mean, I can't say for sure I wasn't there, but as the story goes, it was kind of like they dropped him off, and she was like, "What did you do with my boy?" kind of thing. And needless to say, he was a Wisconsin Badger.
Okay.
So it didn't work out too well.
So speaking of academic excellence, in 2004 and 2005, you had the highest GPA of any other Bulldog at 3.43.
Yeah, I like to say I told your brothers yesterday. I think I was responsible for getting a couple of the boys with degrees of their own. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I was the only guy that maybe was at the library more than the bar.
Nice.
So, probably got
Well
me,
done.
Probably got me through. in
Well
the
done.
end. Yeah. So.
So 2005, you make your pro debut in Binghamton with the Senators. What was your first impression of the place we call home?
Well,
Be brutally honest.
I
Yeah.
have a story about that too. The Holiday Inn is the hotel here across the street from the arena. So it was my first day in town, and I think my baggage had got lost, and I was going to get a toothbrush or something like that, and I crossed the river to go. I'm not sure the street. I guess it's Main Street, right?
Yeah, that would be Main Street. Yep.
Yeah, I crossed the street.
Right there by Fitzy's Pub.
Sure, we'll
Yep.
call it that. But yeah, anyways, I crossed the bridge in Main Street in Binghamton. I was a little concerned for my safety, but I got my toothpaste and got back to the hotel. But later, I learned it wasn't as bad as I had originally thought.
Well, it is
that
now,
night.
just so you know.
But yeah, no, it was a good couple years, good couple seasons.
So your inaugural year is also the year Denny the Hammer Hamel scored 56 goals.
Yes.
In your eyes, what made Denny so successful and the hometown hero that he is today?
He could shoot the puck. I mean, he had, some of the guys didn't particularly enjoy his personality, but hey, what can you say? He got the job done.
56 goals is nothing to
Shake a stick at.
stick at.
Maybe he's like the Alex Ovechkin of the American Hockey League at the time,
Great shot.
Great shot.
No
maybe,
defense.
Yeah, maybe not a lot of anything else, but lead the league in goal scoring, you're doing something right. So
Yeah, I mean he got a few games in the NHL after that season, right?
yeah, I'm not sure if it was the year after. It was. He made the Senators out of training camp. I know I played in one game in training camp, but I know he had a hat trick against Eric Sabres, I believe, in Ottawa.
Who didn't?
And I think that was when they were actually kind of
They were
good.
good.
So that would have been like 06, 07 around there. But yeah, he made the NHL the next year. I think got traded to Philly, and then yeah.
So I vaguely remember this story, and I'm not really sure where it came from, and I don't know if you know anything about this, but is it true that Jan Platil, your teammate, took off his helmet and smashed somebody's face with it?
Not in my viewing. I've never heard that story per se, but knowing the person, I can see it happening. I witnessed him throw a skate across the locker room and denting the ice machine because Dave Cameron was going to make us practice on a day he thought was going to be an off day, and he had a girlfriend in New York City he wanted to go visit, so he wasn't too pleased about that. But
Is that the same girl I saw him walking around Wegmans with?
could be. I
can't blame him then.
I don't think I ever met her, but no, if you heard that story, I can see it being true.
But unverified.
Yeah,
All right.
unverified by me.
Do you stay in touch with Corey Pecker?
It's funny that you mentioned those two guys because Neil was telling us just yesterday, or was the day before, that those are the two weirdest dudes he ever played with.
Well, you could tell Corey Pecker was a strange bird. You really could.
What would give you that away by his clown fro?
Everything about him.
Yeah, he didn't have the greatest of style, we'll say. So, him again too. I don't know if a lot of the boys appreciated him that much, but
Just because he was quirky?
yeah,
He probably would have been my favorite guy to hang out with.
He was fun to watch on the ice.
you know what? He had a lot of talent. He was actually a pretty good hockey player, but yeah, like I said, I don't know if it was his personality. Well, obviously it was his personality, I guess, but yeah, a lot of the guys didn't appreciate him either.
All right. Interesting.
So this brings us to 2007 when you signed with, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the Italian name right, Bolzano.
That's how I would pronounce it, yeah.
In the Italian league, where, from what I understand, the internet tells me you led them to their title, the RBK Hockey Cup Championship.
Well, from my memory, if my memory serves me correctly, that is pretty accurate.
In what way? I mean, and what did that mean to you? Like coming from playing North American hockey and then winning a championship in Italy. I mean, was it still a extremely rewarding feeling?
No, to be honest, I couldn't really have cared less. But the North Americans playing in Europe, I'm pretty sure it's all of them. But all year you've got a lot of bonus money tied up in winning the playoffs and winning the championships and stuff like that. So I made off with a little more cash because we won the championship. But as far as rewarding, I would say it was not on the top of my list of my hockey accomplishments. That's for sure.
Okay.
It says on their Wikipedia page they are the most successful team in the Italian Ice Hockey League.
Probably,
19 championships.
Actually, Jaromir Jagr played there before he came over and played in the NHL. So,
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
yeah, they've had some good players run through there, I guess.
2009, rejoining the Senators. How did that play out? I don't know if I've ever heard how that happened, how that came about.
That year,
That was when you were
That was-
playing for Stockton, right?
Yes.
yes. Yeah, after the Italian hockey experience, the European hockey experience, I didn't really want to go back to that area of the world. So, tried to get back into North American hockey and ended up being in Stockton for, I guess it would have been maybe the first month of the year. And then Binghamton gave me the call, and I was on the next plane out. I think Brandon Bell had got called up at the time to Ottawa, so there was a spot open, and got it and kind of ran with it.
Yeah, I mean they probably like reached out because they knew you and they knew
Yeah,
what kind of hockey player you were, and it was a good fit.
Mike Busniak, who was coached me my first years of the B-Sens, was still around town, so I think he was maybe the driving force behind me getting back here for that year.
Cool. Speaking of Drew Fata, a fellow defenseman and turns out roommate, had this quote about you that year. Trucker's pretty much one of the most successful players we have. He's not flashy, and sometimes if you don't notice him out there, then he's doing a pretty good job. That's just the way he plays. I don't think he knows any other style to play. To have a guy back there, you always know what you're going to expect. Do you have anything you'd like to say to Drew Fata?
Not really. I mean that's what they say with the guys who have not as much talent as everybody else, right? Like it's like the bad kid on the football team or the baseball team. Like, yeah, he does his job. He's how he's gonna play and stuff like that. So maybe I consider that an insult. I don't know.
That's what I was wondering. Was in this quote? Was it tongue in cheek kind of thing? Like he was playing prank on you or something? I
don't know about that, but you get these reporters asking you questions, and
you just gotta go with it.
Exactly, you got to throw something out there. So I'm sure. Well, obviously that's what he did. So
all right. One of the most stressful hockey games of my game watching career was your Game 7 Western Conference Finals between the Houston Aeros and Hamilton Bulldogs that you were with at the time.
Yeah, May 25th.
Say again?
May 25th, I believe, 2011.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
That's right.
First of all, a great series and a fantastic game, but I just wanted to hear your thoughts overall on the series and the game and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, it was a chance to play the B-Sens in the Calder Cup Finals, and it kind of worked out. I don't know, like hockey, like life, I think in general, success and whatever is a lot about luck. But we had ended up beating Houston in Game 5 in Hamilton to go back to Houston for Game 6, and ended up, I believe it was the May long weekend in Canada, and I think. What's your long weekend in
Memorial Day weekend?
Memorial Day, yeah. So we ended up driving to Buffalo. We were going to fly out that morning. We were going to stay in a hotel in Buffalo, and we got to the border, and it was gridlock. So we got caught up at the border. We were there till like 4 a.m.
Ugh.
Ended up having to go straight to the airport. Didn't sleep all night. So we got, I think we were all on different flights too, but my group got into Houston about noon, so got a couple hours of sleep for a nap or whatever, and then, the next day was game day, but we pulled it out that Game 6, and I believe for sure it was overtime, and then Game 7 rolled around, and I think we just kind of ran out of gas, and they scored with a minute and a half left to take them on to the finals, so. It wasn't a very good time in my life. I knew it was I had an inkling it was my last game, so I was maybe a little more bummed out than most. But
sure,
it wasn't. Wasn't
But
it
a good
time?
note to go out on, in my opinion, because it was such a great series.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was fun. It was my first kind of playoff experience like that in pro, and yeah, it was a good time for sure.
How big of a wimp is Carson McMillian?
You're watching the YouTube clips, hey? No, as you would have seen in the clip, that I think anyone would have tried to do what I did after the stuff that was going on in that. So,
Okay. Speaking of that, what's up with Jeff Swez?
Oh, him.
I was gonna ask that actually.
In the Etobicoke, Ontario guy?
okay,
Syracuse.
okay.
You fought him twice.
fought him twice.
December 26th and April 1st.
Jeff Swez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swez.
Okay,
I remember the Swez fights.
SZWEZ.
I maybe remember the first one. I don't think it went too well. Then the second one, I can't even recall. So
The second one says it was a draw on the website I'm looking at.
it couldn't have been that bad because you remember the times you win and you remember the times you get beat up. So
Okay.
I can't see
The draws don't really stand out at
Yeah,
all.
it might have been just a skirmish and kicking people out at the end of the game or something like that.
What's the deal with Carson McMillian? Did I miss something here?
Corey just asked me about him.
I know, but I'm going to watch it right now.
Yeah, good.
Oh yeah, what happened?
Well, you can see him pitchforking me with a stick where someone shouldn't be pitchforked.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I didn't really take too kindly to that.
Well,
so.
sure.
Nor should you.
Yeah, exactly. So I tried taking.
Oh, yeah, he did. Caught
Yeah.
you a couple,
Yeah.
3-4 times
Yeah.
there.
And I know I got the extra 2 minutes for that for instigating or something like that. So I wasn't very
Jeez.
happy.
No.
Nor
In the
would
words
I.
of the Mighty Ducks, 2 minutes well worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So I was corrected, Neil. I thought you were left-handed. It turns out you're left-shooted.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. I write with my right hand. Golf from the right side. I hit from the right side. Shot hockey pucks from the left.
Was that by design or was that just what was natural for you?
Yeah. I don't know. That's just what I started doing, I guess.
Okay. Because I know, like a lot of people when they're younger, their parents try to get them to bat left-handed or do things pitch left-handed, throw
Yeah.
left-handed.
No, I think it was just how it worked out.
Okay.
That was a little bit what I was going to get at, Dan, is what you were talking about. I just sort of have this theory that do you think left-handers have an advantage in youth sports just because most people are right-handed? So that allows them to stand out a little bit, which leads to a little more playtime and attention, and then all of a sudden you have just as many left-handers playing pro sports as right-handers.
Well, I actually think I don't have the numbers, obviously, but I would say there's more left-handed shooting hockey players than right by probably a good percentage.
Okay.
So, I don't
Do you
know.
think that has something to do with it, maybe?
Not really. I don't think. No.
Okay.
No, but yeah, I like I said, if I could guess, I'd say probably 10% more lefties than righties in hockey.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you aware your Wikipedia page links to Olivier Fortier's Hockey DB page?
No, I did not.
Have to get your PR rep on that.
Yeah, I'll have to get my agent notified on that issue.
He was I didn't even know who he was, but he's a center. He was a center for Hamilton, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he played that much that year that I played, but he's definitely on the team, on the roster.
It's funny how that stuff works out. And my last question, are you related to Jeff Petruick?
Yes, I am. First cousin. Hell of a hockey player. Didn't had all the skills to make it to make millions, but I think I tell people I wish I had his skill, and if we could combine forces, me and him, we would have.
You've been superhuman.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw 114 points in 62 games for the Asheville Smoke of the UHL.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, this guy was a good hockey player, really good, but didn't really pan out for him in the pros.
Well, that's all I got. I certainly appreciate all the answers,
Yeah.
and for people listening for video games, I apologize, but we had to capitalize on this opportunity.
Yeah. we were going to talk about hockey video games, but we realized we didn't have all that much experience with hockey video games, other than the most modern day ones. I should say. I played NHL Eastside Hockey Manager extensively for hundreds of hours, probably. So that would have been what I talked about most. But yeah, let's get into what we played. And let's start with Mario Kart 8, because we at what, Mom? Was that Saturday?
Oh man, I've played so many times during this week.
Monday? Sunday?
Saturday.
Sunday. It was Sunday.
Oh.
But anyway, yeah, Corey was there. Will was there. Neil, my wife, our sister Allison. We all kind of sat down and played Mario Kart all at once, and it was Neil and Allison's first time playing Mario Kart 8. Neil, what'd you think of Mario Kart 8?
It was good. I'm not 100% sure, but it kind of seemed like the tracks were just kind of redone.
There was, the entire the tracks on the bottom, they were all remakes of older tracks. You probably remember Moo Moo Meadows. That was on the Nintendo 64 one. Toad's Turnpike was on.
There was quite a few. Bowser's
Nintendo
Castle and whatnot. So no, it was good. I liked it. It was graphics are obviously a lot better than the Nintendo 64 versions.
Uh-huh. Okay. So yeah, I mean, let's get into that a little bit. Corey, I'd like to talk about our specific races that we played, and the reason for my outbursts. We played one whole circuit, one whole cup, I guess you could say, and I won 1 out of 3, but I was in the lead up until the last 1/8.
Oh, probably even closer than that. 16th, maybe?
1/16. For the other 3 races, I was in the lead the entire race, and Corey managed to catch up to me and beat me the last
Twice.
3 times.
3 times.
Yeah, I think one of them. I think one of them you caught me a little bit early, like maybe the last quarter of the last lap.
Gotcha.
But 2 of them were like, I was almost over the finish line, and Corey caught up to me and beat me 3 out of the 4 races. So that's why I was angry, and I wasn't even angry. I obviously
more frustrated than
I had an outburst, and I even said, it's part of the game, and that's what happens. But it was no less frustrating. But it was still a lot of fun. Obviously, we had a big advantage having played. I think I have played Mario Kart like 40 or 45 hours or something like that. So, we had the advantage over the people that hadn't played at all or as much. So, but that was fun. It was fun to, play with all of us. And what was your perspective of that, Corey?
It's just one of those things. I just stayed calm the whole time.
Yeah.
Came through at the end.
Planned your revenge the entire time.
And it's a little bit of luck, I just happened to get the right item at the right time. The one time it was 3 red shells that I was able to wipe you out twice with.
Oh, brutal.
Then just blow by you. The other time I got, in second place, mind you, I got the 8 item. That's all the items. That helped quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened the third time, but a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill.
Persistence.
Yeah, confidence maybe.
Yeah,
a little bit of swagger.
Yeah. Now, Will, what did you get angry about?
Corey winning.
Well, right, but do you remember what specifically?
It was one of the things where like I'd be on the second lap and I'd lead the whole way, and then Corey would get me with something, and then he'd lead like the entire second half of the second lap, and then the entire third. And for whatever reason, his kart was faster. He probably has a better loadout than I do. And I just couldn't catch up. Mm-hmm. That happened, I think, 2 times, maybe?
Okay.
Because I won the very first race of the circuit, and then he won the next 2, and I couldn't catch up.
Gotcha.
And then, like, I finished 3rd on the last one, and then he laughed at me. So, there's that.
You guys make me out to be such a monster.
Corey, you are absolutely the villain of the podcast when it comes to playing video games.
I don't understand. I really don't. I consider myself...
Would you like me to explain it?
No.
I'll explain it. Give me a second here. It's because you fucking win all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
You always tell us that I have the most natural video game talent, but you always fucking win. It's just like when we play Risk Legacy. You've won both times. You're going to win again this weekend. I already know that. That's why you're the villain. You're fucking more handsome than we are.
I'm just going to start purposely losing everything so people like me more.
That's not fun.
It's not so we love you.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's not fun if you don't try to
There
win.
has to be a villain. It just happened to be you.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself a villain.
We are a good villain.
All right.
We are a prick, but you are a good villain.
How about the anti-hero? How's that?
All right, anti-hero.
Anti-hero works. Okay. So any other thoughts on Mario Kart?
In Corey's defense, when he does trash talk us, like if the positions were reversed, like I'd be letting him have it. So it's all in good fun.
Yeah. I was upset.
Jake in the chat says to embrace my dickness.
I'm with him, Corey. Just own it.
Yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't describe you as a dick.
My girlfriend would.
Maybe a Richard.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Corey, this is not the time nor the place for that chatter.
All right. Any other thoughts, Mario Kart? I got nothing.
Nah.
All right, Eric, what did you end up playing?
You want to talk about Destiny Beta?
Yeah, let's talk about Destiny Beta.
Oh, this game.
It launched Thursday last week.
Yeah, I think Thursday sounds right.
A week ago today.
Yeah.
We obviously played it over the weekend and a little bit earlier the week. They took Monday and Tuesday off, or it came back part of the day on Tuesday.
Yeah, it was scheduled maintenance time, and then when
it was supposed to come back on Wednesday, right?
Yes, supposed to come back Wednesday, and it was going to be open to Xbox and Xbox 360 also, and PS3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it came up a little bit sooner than anticipated,
like a day early almost.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Giving people more of a chance to play it. And I played it, must have been Tuesday night for probably 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I just did the exploring stuff. That was the only thing I hadn't done in the beta as opposed to the alpha. It's still an awesome game. I'm still having a blast with it.
I am too. I still have my reservations about not enough stuff being put into, not enough content being put out, because you just blow through everything. And I wanted to play last night, and I fired it up, and I'm level 7. I think I've done all the story missions. I did the strike.
I just hit level 7 too. I think I'm like 7.5 maybe.
Yeah, and I just find myself not having anything to really do. And I know it's just beta, but
I feel like it's just the same things that we did in the alpha, pretty much.
it is basically.
So that makes me not want to play it.
Well, I mean, there's obviously going to be a lot more to do. Here's my fear. My only fear with Destiny is that they're going to try and guide people into the Crucible, and that's going to be the end game, which I hope it's not.
They got to do a lot of improvement on the Crucible.
If
that's the case.
Yeah, I just don't have any interest in the multiplayer at all. So that's if they're going to try and not have any end game content, like even just having like a bunch of raids and stuff to do, that would be fun. But if they're just going to try and guide people into the Crucible, that's not what I want. You know, I mean, I'm still going to buy it and play it, but
definitely.
If they don't keep releasing new content for people that hit the level cap, which will happen, people are going to hit the level cap in a week.
Yeah,
if that. So, if they don't keep, they got to keep on the content.
I'm worried about it. I really am.
Yeah, that's everything I've been hearing from the sources I follow. Seem to agree with you guys, but I wouldn't worry about the whole. This is what we did in the alpha, because I think the alpha thing was just Sony saying, "Hey, we got some money, give us something exclusive."
Yeah. I know.
So they just called it an alpha and.
Well, yeah.
Called it good.
I know, but I just don't feel like playing the same thing again if there's not going to be that much new stuff to play in the beta. Cause
right.
I guess
I don't want to get burnt out on the beginning, because if I do it and I get the game, I'm like, oh great, I gotta play through all this again, and I'm just not going to want to.
You just need to get my memory, where you won't even remember it.
Forget it.
Even if you play it twice.
That's true.
Also, I enjoyed trying a different character class.
That's true.
I did the same one, but I didn't experience my class really. I think I only got to level 4 maybe.
Yeah,
I didn't do that much.
You didn't get as far.
No. Yeah, my primary fear with it is just that they're going to try and use the Crucible for Endgame. As long as they keep coming out with new stuff. I still love the game. It's a great game.
Oh, absolutely. I have a blast when I play it.
Exactly. Our we're just trying to say our fear is that there's not going to be enough stuff to do.
Now Jake says you need to remember, Jake in the chat says you need to remember you have the Moon, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, Venus, and Mercury. But if...
I thought it was just Venus and Mars.
No, there's more than just
there's
Jupiter's a gas giant.
I don't know.
I don't think there's going to be anything to do on there. Unless it's the moons of Jupiter.
Shut up, Dan.
I don't know, Dan. There's more than just Earth.
Yeah,
we know that. But just look at what's on Earth right now. And I know it's just the beta, but it's not a lot. And you can blow through it really quickly.
I hope it's not just Russia. I hope there's other spots on Earth.
Old Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully that's the case because it's just not enough. I mean, and it's so fun that you just blow through it.
Yeah. I'm also wondering if there's going to be some sort of space combat because of the ship stuff that they just haven't announced yet. I've got my fingers crossed for that.
Yeah, it's called No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky, right.
I really hope they're holding back a lot of stuff.
I hope so too, but I honestly don't think they are. If I'm being completely honest.
We'll see. What are your thoughts on Destiny, Corey?
I haven't played it, so I can't really comment at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, the things you guys are expressing are things I've heard lots of times. So,
Corey, you know your roomie has it on his PS3.
he sure does.
Has he enjoyed it? Do you know?
Yeah, he said he loved it when he
good.
played.
You gonna give it a whirl?
Maybe at some point I'll give it a whirl. I don't know.
This is the
his
last
PlayStation's locked up in his bedroom, and I don't know. I feel weird about going in other people's bedrooms at any point.
Why, you just go in there, make sure you're naked, drag your butt on his pillow.
Have porn playing on your laptop next to you?
Yeah.
Why don't you take it out in the living room for a day? You don't think you'd care?
No, he probably wouldn't. I don't know. I don't like going in other people's bedrooms.
Just have him bring it out and set it on the table or something.
I guess I don't care enough. You know, I got enough to do in the 2 hours I have between when I get home from work and go to bed.
Right. Okay.
Jake also says the public events are great, and while I agree with that, I feel like there's not enough variety in them, and they might get kind of stale.
Yeah, I think I did one in the beta,
Uh-huh.
and it was a lot of fun.
It was fun, but I've done a couple in the beta, and it was basically the same thing.
It was the one. I don't know if you did it. The one where all the rusted out airplanes are.
Yes.
You have to shoot up the drills and stuff. It was fun.
What's the story in this game?
I don't know.
Your guardians, the that big sphere that's on Earth is protecting the last city of Earth from the bad guys that you fight in the game. I don't even remember their name.
The Covenant?
No, it does. It does feel a little bit like that, but not exactly.
It escapes me right now too.
And you're trying to figure out
What?
I think you're trying to figure out how to reawaken what's in the sphere to help it finish the job of liberating Earth from the menace.
Okay.
Rough explanation of it, but
Sounds pretty basic.
yeah, that's about what it is.
Okay.
So yeah,
but
I've had fun. I'm concerned about the amount of content, but I guess we won't know until the game comes out. So
I'd love to be surprised.
Yeah, me too.
But
Okay.
as I said, I don't want to replay the same intro 3 times.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I do want to play it though.
you should give it a shot. I feel like the main thing I noticed difference wise was that loading times were better
Okay.
in the beta from the alpha.
Yeah, I remember seeing that the screen that my ship was flying for 5 minutes trying to load everything.
Yeah, it was quite a bit faster than I noticed when I played it most recently. So
Yeah.
It's so great.
yeah,
I don't want anyone to think that we don't like it.
no, we're not trying to diminish it.
We're just fearful of how much we like it. We don't want to be let down.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if they're not putting the beta on PC because they know PC gamers are too smart.
Oh, fuck off, Corey. God almighty. God. I don't even want to honor that.
I agree with you, Corey.
But anyway,
Dan, where were you?
Destiny beta. That's all we got for Destiny.
That's
beta.
a wrap.
Yeah. Did you play anything else, Eric?
I don't think so.
Will, did you play anything?
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone. You played
Yeah.
Hearthstone.
I did play Hearthstone. I played it the day after we recorded. I didn't have to work that day, so I got up and nobody was home and nobody there to make me breakfast, so I just went to my computer.
Or tea.
Or tea. So yeah, I basically just played a little bit of Hearthstone. I did like 5 of the what's it called, tutorial fights or whatever, and I got to the 6th one, and I didn't realize at the time that you can just have your monsters attack the other hero, even if nobody has taunt for another card. I didn't realize that. I thought it was kind of like with Magic, where you had to destroy all the monsters and attack like that. So I was fighting that the last tutorial guy, and he kept kicking my butt because he kept on overwhelming me with like monster spawns and stuff like that. So I was getting frustrated. So I did it like twice, and I was like, I don't feel like playing this again. So I stopped, and then I went back to it and ended up beating it. So I got into like the main part of the game. But I played 3 online matches and got beat pretty handily. There was one I was actually kind of close. Like, I got him to 12, but he had some card that made him do a lot of damage and then killed me. And
Gotcha.
I was like, meh, I don't feel like playing this right now, but I did like it a lot. I will play more of it. I think I'm going to either build a priest or a hunter deck.
Will,
Gotcha.
Tito wants to know what your name is so we can battle.
Oh, man, what's my name? What's my name? Isn't there a number attached to it and everything? So I'd have to get that to him. Yeah, Tito, I'll message you on Steam when I get on, which will probably be tomorrow.
When you get it sorted.
Yeah, because it won't be tonight, because it's already kind of late. But yeah, tomorrow I'll message you my name. But I played Hearthstone, Mario Kart. I feel like I played something else.
Broke new ground this week, Will.
Shut up. I thought about playing a lot of stuff, like Divinity.
I thought about playing MLB and NBA. Didn't install them yet.
No.
I've been watching a lot of Cheers.
Enjoying it?
That's fucking great.
Yeah?
Such a good show.
Yeah.
And Boardwalk Empire, too.
Oh, you know what I never even mentioned? I have an Xbox One.
I'm thinking that, or yesterday or today, I was thinking, Will didn't even mention that he bought an Xbox One.
Yeah, I've had it for a week. I installed the free games, which is the Max, the Curse Brotherhood, or Curse of Brotherhood.
I told you not to bother with it.
It was free. What was the other one? Oh, Guacamelee, which I will play. Dead Rising 3, which is the only game I got. I traded in some stuff, so I got the Xbox for like $300. What else? I pretty much only just turned it on a couple times and like, oh, look at the menus, and turned it off. Then watch Netflix and go to bed.
That's about it, yep.
We're supposed to applaud a new console.
Are we? Hey, I haven't heard this in a while.
Well done.
I pretty much got it for Halo, but like my problem is once I get like I really want something in my head, like I just do it.
It's the same with me, and I had that experience recently with Pizza Hut pizza.
Well, at least yours is a little cheaper. Mine
$10.
Mine
but
was.
it didn't make your console isn't making you any fatter.
That's true. Well, I mean, with me though, like I did it with my $700 TV, which I canceled, but it still came, and then then an Xbox One.
Did your folks know about that yet?
Yeah, that happened during the fall.
Yeah.
It was when they were on vacation.
They want one now.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were on vacation. They didn't know I got it for like a month when they got home. So yeah, that's my problem. Like I said, I bought Dead Rising. I'll play it because I really want to play it. But
It is fun.
yeah, we should play together.
We should do that.
We're not going to,
Well, no, absolutely not.
but it's the thought.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, I played something else. I just can't remember. I'm tired, so ignore me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Corey? What do you got?
I actually did get around to playing Divinity.
Hey.
If you're unfamiliar, Divinity is a single or cooperative RPG developed by Larian Studios, and I kind of wish I held out for one of you guys to play co-op with me because I think it would be a lot of fun. But I don't want to replay everything I played. I probably put like 6 hours in it already.
Holy crap.
So yeah, Larian Studios is the studio that made all the other Divinity games, and I did a little research and found out that the one I played before was Divinity 2, and I was not a fan at all. Because it was like, It was. I mean, it kind of played like a Skyrim or something like that, but without any of the luxuries of a Skyrim, like no journal, no quest markers, or anything like that. So you're basically just, I don't know. I just didn't care for it. And this game is actually kind of similar, but it's presented in a way that's more digestible to me, because it's kind of like a Neverwinter Nights or a Dungeon Siege. Where you have a party, a combat party. There's a huge D&D influence. So you have a party, and it's 50% combat, but it's 50% everything else Dungeons and Dragons. So like interacting with non-player characters and doing quests that might not have anything to do with combat. I guess contrary, a game, the opposite game of that would be like a Diablo or something like that. Where you're just clicking the whole time and fighting the whole time. But this also has a lot of strategy involved, has an isometric camera, fantasy setting, and the story is that you actually control two main characters, which is why I think it would be fun to play co-op. But it controls totally fine when you're playing as two characters, because you just switch between the two when you want one to do one thing and one to do the other. But you're playing these what's called source hunters, and source is an evil type of magic that you're trying to eradicate in the game world. And yeah, so you're just put into this world, and all you really know is that your job is to eliminate source from the world. But as I was saying, like the combat is half of it, but the what I really love about it is the other half of stuff, where you're constantly interacting with NPCs and solving these quests. Like the main thing you're going to this town called Cecile to solve this murder for one of the counselors. His name is Jake. And essentially I've spent like the first hour getting to the town, and I've spent 4 or 5 hours within the town not really fighting anything and just using all my other skills to figure out what's going on. The process of leveling up is really slow, so whenever you gain a level, you really have to think about where you want to put your points. Because like D&D, it has your basic attributes, and then it has skills, combat skills, and then it has all these extra skills, which are just as important, and you want your characters to complement each other. You don't really want to have any overlap, because you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot, because each skill is really important. One of my main characters has the skill that lets me talk to animals, and you can literally talk to any animal in the game, which is really helpful for some quests, because animals, as silly as it sounds, see things that people don't see, so they'll give you inside information, which you can use to your advantage in your negotiations. Speaking of which, charm is really helpful, because it influences every NPC's attitude towards your character, so you're more likely to get information from them. They're more likely to work with you. But the way that works is if there's ever an instance where you need to charm or intimidate somebody, an NPC, or even another character on your team, sometimes your characters butt heads and you need to solve an argument. The way that works is rock, paper, scissors. And you need to get essentially you need to win rock, paper, scissors 10 times before the other person wins 10 times. But depending on your ability to charm somebody, you get a bonus. If you're really charming, then each victory will count as 3 victories. So there's still a little bit of chance involved, but you're more likely to be successful at whatever you're trying to do if you have more points in charm. Also, barter. I made sure one of my characters had the barter skill, so they can get more money by selling items to NPCs and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's what I really love about the game. It's the whole role play aspect outside of just combat. But I will say, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
That's okay. I just want to say that that's one of the best things about D&D is all that other stuff and using your other skills. Because when you pick them, you generally you pick them for a reason and hope that you're going to use them in the game, and that's one of the fun things about it. And it sounds like Divinity, captures that.
Yeah, it really does. And not to write the combat short, but I mean the combat is really well done too. It's all turn based. You have all your D&D like skills and different types of weapons you can equip. It's all really well done, and I'll be talking about it a lot more. But I do really, really enjoy it. Going through dungeons and stuff is a lot of fun. It's just so tactical, and the combat, yeah, but everything else, like the traps and stuff, and where you position your characters, and how you move through the game world, and there's so much extra just crap crammed into it. I spent like 30 minutes digging up people's graves. You have to find a shovel before you can do that. Digging up people's graves and just seeing what would pop up. It might be treasure. It might be a ghost that gives you a quest. It might be zombies that attack you. I just had so much fun digging up graves, and it was just one little part of the game, and I got so much enjoyment out of it. And that's what the game excels at.
Nice.
And it's my kind of game, you know.
Yeah, I think you might have convinced me to get it.
I really think you should, Dan. I think you'd really like it. Will, I think you might like it too. Eric, probably not. You always say how you hate to read, and if you're going to get any enjoyment out of all that extra stuff, it's a ton of reading.
Count me out.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could get away without doing that part of it, but I don't think you'd get as much from the game if you didn't.
Gotcha.
I do like a good tactical battle, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun, and you got to make sure to autosave, because if you die, you die. So if you autosave after every battle, it's cool.
Dang.
I played a game on my iPhone called Timberman. Stupid game. It was free. I needed something to play. You tap either side of a tree to chop it down, and just watch out if there's a branch on one side. You got to switch to the other side. That's Timberman, guys.
And did you beat it?
No.
Oh, wow.
I don't think you can. I think it's endless. It's just some nervous energy, you know, and it's just tap away.
Well, then what constitutes beating it?
Maybe unlocking all the characters.
Okay.
It's just skins you can unlock. I don't know. Nothing special. And then I played the
Credits.
Curse of Naxxraxis DLC for Hearthstone.
Nice.
I beat everything through that, except for there's a harder difficulty called Heroic Mode. I didn't even mess around with that, but you just play through the 3 bosses. It's single player. It's not online. Play through the 3 bosses. You unlock some cards when you beat them. And then there's what's called a class challenge. In this case, the class challenge was a druid and a rogue. You play as the druid or the rogue, and they pair you up against one of the bosses, a harder version. And the deck's already picked out for you and everything. So you kind of got to be creative on how you beat the bosses. But wasn't all that difficult overall. I did enjoy it. Probably wouldn't have been happy if I had to spend money on it. But
I was
it
just
is.
asking if it was free.
Yeah, it was free. They're releasing it in wings. Like, this was the first wing of the overall DLC. 3 bosses in this wing, and then the next wing opens up next week, and that's 3 more bosses. But the bosses are totally different than anything you've seen in Hearthstone. They have their own powers. They have the same cards, but the different powers, which are really funky. One of them is for 3 mana, they can summon a 3/1 character. One of them is return an enemy minion to the player's hand, which is really frustrating. So yeah, that's the Curse of Naxxraxis. I wasn't blown away by it. It is fun to see some different stuff in that game, though, because a lot of people have been seeing the same stuff for a long time. So I'm sure people that are really into it are really excited to play it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's it.
Does that count as a beating game, being serious? Because you technically beat the main story, right?
It's DLC. I'm not gonna. I don't care.
All right.
The only thing I played, other than what I already talked about, was more Civ 5, which
Nice.
I'm still loving. I think I'm in the early 1700s now. Not as dominant as I thought I would be, but I discovered North and South America, and Greece pretty much had the entire South American continent to itself. So they're in the lead right now, but I'm going to try and take over all of Europe and Africa and launch some sort of an invasion on Greece. So that'll be fun. That's my next mission in the game. But I'm making a ton of money, which is nice. I can buy units if I get into a war all of a sudden. But it's still an amazing game.
Sure is.
Absolutely love it. But it's dangerous. Once I start playing, I realize it's been 4 hours and I should probably go to bed. So yeah, that's all I played. Let's get right into feedback, shall we?
Sure.
All right, this is a voicemail, which I will play first. Let me call it up. Okay, here we go.
Hey guys, this is Tito from LA. Real quickly, I got a PS4 last week and to play the Destiny beta. Had fun playing it. It doesn't really feel like an MMO to me, though. They were pretty smart with the design. It's kind of pretty cool. But really, the only MMO multiplayer aspect is someone's, you can see other people playing in the same map you are, but it still kind of feels single player to me. Granted, it's just the beta, so who knows what's going to be different, but, you pick your mission and then you go to that area and you do the mission and then you're back on the spaceship. I had fun. Multiplayer is nothing to write home about. It was cool. I would mention more stuff I've been doing with WildStar, but the message would just run too long. I have a lot of stuff to talk about that. Nice. But I am looking forward to, I'm hoping Will can play with me this weekend if he's interested in being on WildStar. That way there's someone if you guys do an episode for it, there's someone who can kind of talk more about the different aspects of WildStar compared to other MMOs. And also, lastly, I'm still waiting for some Hearthstone invites. I never got Corey's. I'm looking forward to challenging, Corey and Eric to some Hearthstone if they're up for it. And I was thinking of doing a tournament, but that would require people to have played the game long enough to unlock a lot of the cards. So I scrapped that idea. But if anyone is brave enough to face me in Hearthstone, I'm looking forward to it. Again, my name is PoppinLock#1918. And I don't care if anyone else hears that. I'm looking for people to friend. That's all I got. I'll see you guys around.
All right, thanks, Tito. Yeah, I guess I kind of did get the feel that it's not really MMORPG like until there was one time I went into the tower and there was a ton of people in there. For the most part, it was only once when I went in there too. For the most part, I at least would see 3 or 4 people around. Same thing when you're in the actual maps. I would see, a group of like 2 or 3 people fighting together, and then I'd see a random person off in the distance. And you really don't get the sense that it's an MMORPG for that. I do think they wanted to keep the population, not sparse, but not too densely packed in the zones. But I did get the MMO impression one time, like I said, when I went into the tower, there was 100 people on my mini map, or 50. I don't know if they were testing how many people they could get into the tower and still have it like load nicely and run okay. But there was a ton of people in there. And it was just that one time. And I feel like it was towards the end of my playing when I played on, I guess it was Tuesday. Like I said, I'm not sure if they might have been testing things, trying to overload the tower or whatever. But yeah, I got the same impression. It doesn't necessarily feel like an MMORPG in the same way that like a Planet Side would feel like an MMORPG, But yeah, good stuff. WildStar this weekend.
Yeah, I'll play. I've been wanting to start playing again. So.
Yeah, same here. I just have a hard time finding the time. The only reason I played Civ as long is because I start playing it and then I don't realize it's 4 hours later. So that's why I've been playing Civ a lot. But
do you remember what level you are in WildStar?
I'm only level like 6 or 7.
You guys gotta catch up.
Yeah, I haven't played it other than like I think I played it twice. But yeah,
tisk.
Well, the Destiny beta was out and all that stuff, and I started playing Civ, and then Hearthstone. So, Eric, did you friend Tito in Hearthstone?
No, I have not.
Okay. I'll try and play it with you too. I'll try and add your name. I probably have the least amount played out of all of us. Me and Will are probably about the same.
Yeah,
but yeah, I definitely don't have any of the good cards unlocked.
I get torched.
Yeah, I did win one game online out of the 3 that I played though.
Is that what it's gonna be like until I get decent cards? I'm just gonna get spanked.
No. I still don't have decent cards. I have a few like rare cards for one class, but then I pretty much just use the neutral cards.
Yeah, but I'm dumb, so.
I mean, it just takes practice, and you'll just read a little bit on like starter tips, and you'll learn so much if you spend 10 minutes reading starter tips on forums.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll totally change how you look at the game.
Yeah, I mean, I've jumped into Dota, so I feel like I can handle this. This is not as brutal.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, if you want to get on with me, and I'll play with you and just kind of give you some info.
Yeah, I'd
be happy to do that.
Yeah, I'll play whenever. Just send me a text.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Tito. Eric, you want to? Do we get another? We got another email, right?
I sent it to you.
Did you?
I did.
Which email?
I put it
address?
under Facebook. It's Hotmail. Yours.
Okay. I don't think I got it.
Oh shit.
Eric.
You want me to just read it?
God.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Unless you want to resend it.
I got it here. Let's read it.
God, Eric.
All right. Facebook from Idaho Jake. Hey guys, I don't have much to say, but I have convinced 4 of my friends to buy Destiny. I gave them my extra codes and now they're addicted to it. All I have to report is I've played tons of Destiny, and when that goes down, I'm going to play Borderlands 2 until September 9th, or I might rent Last of Us and try and beat it before the 9th. I guess that's it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to The Last of Us. I don't work next Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and it comes out Tuesday, so I'll be able to play it Tuesday night, like really late into Wednesday. So I'm really excited about that. I should have it beaten in like 3 or 4 nights probably.
You're gonna play it down here.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be
it'll be
creepy.
dark.
That's gonna be a little creepy.
Yeah, I'll have my headphones in, so I won't know anything that's going on around me.
There's a couple areas in particular that I remember that get pretty creepy.
Nice. Oh, nice. Yeah, Jake, if you could find that to rent, how long? 12 hours? Would you say?
Yeah.
To be, if you can get it for like a week, you could probably have it beaten.
Dan, you should stream it.
Maybe I will.
I'd like to watch that.
I want to get the PS4 camera. I almost bought it today. I was real close.
Oh yeah?
It was like $46 or something like that
I thought it was only $40
on Amazon. It's been $60.
Damn.
Yeah,
Is that what I paid for that hunk of shit?
I think so.
It's about 15, 16 hours.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that's borderline too much for renting a game, I would think, unless you can sink a lot of time into it over
Right,
like a
yeah.
weekend.
And from Julian in Chicago via email, we had asked him last week to expand on why he's not going to buy Destiny, so he's answering. Regarding Destiny, I won't buy it because I found it to be too much of the same old stuff. The gunplay is standard stuff, nothing new, plus I didn't find a single gun that fits my style of play. Also, the versus multiplayer kind of sucks.
Yeah,
The
I agree
world
with that.
is not that interesting, and the story is so standard it's boring.
I could see that. That makes sense.
I can't see that, except for the multiplayer.
Yeah, the multiplayer is dull.
I'll give him that.
I'll totally give you that.
I love the rest of it. I don't know. Seems like Julian and I just have opposite taste in games.
Yeah.
I kind of see the gun thing because a lot of the guns are sort of the same. So
I don't agree
Well,
with that at all.
To me, it feels like Halo to me, which is a good thing. I think that's probably for a shooter. That's what I want it to feel like, you know.
Yeah.
So that for me works really well.
Same here.
I mean, I don't know. They said on Giant Bomb that most of the guns are the same too, and I
don't
found
agree
from
with that at all.
most of the guns that I've used are the same. So if that's
We're using the same type of gun? Because, I mean, there's shotguns, there's sniper rifles, there's assault rifles, there's pulse rifles, there's heavy machine guns, heavy rocket launchers.
that I don't know. That's just what
I've been
they
using
said,
I've been using the sniper rifle, and then the assault rifle.
yeah.
I tried the scout rifle, the single shot one, and I'm just not as good with that one. You know, for like medium range, even long range a little bit,
Which
and
one
then
are you
close
not
range.
good at?
The scout
Single.
rifle,
That's-
the carbine.
I use a scout rifle.
Do you?
and
I'm not
love
good.
it.
I'm not good with that.
I'm really good with it.
I use the assault rifle and then sniper rifle for long range.
I've
I can
yet-
do that mid range
Yet
too.
to use the sniper rifle.
I didn't use it when I played the alpha, but I got one with my, that's kind of a hunter gun, I
Yeah.
guess you could say, and I love it.
I use a scout rifle, a shotgun, and a heavy machine gun.
Okay, I think my heavy weapon's a rocket launcher.
You used a heavy machine gun?
No, I haven't used a rocket launcher either. I have it. I've just never had a reason to pull it out, really.
Good stuff. And then Julian goes on to say, this is also in response to last week. As far as UFC, I'm sad you guys dismissed this game so easily. You don't have to be a fan of the UFC to like it. I have never even seen a fight. Also, you don't have to invest a huge amount of time to get the control. Any half-decent gamer should get the controls after only a few fights. Even my older non-gamer brother, who's about 45 years old, got them in the first few fights. To the listeners, if you are in the least bit interested in fighting games, get this game. I think it's on special in some stores this week for $40 or $50.
Mhm.
I got the same opinion that I had last week.
Yeah.
And I do fancy myself a half decent gamer. I don't know. I probably could catch on to it. I just don't want to. I think it's bad enough that I just don't have any interest in catching on to the controls.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I still say I want another boxing game.
Fight Night would be way better.
Yeah. I just like the dual stick punching. You know, right stick is right punch, left stick is left punch.
Yeah.
I just think that translates very well to a video game.
I agree. I guess I would still just encourage anybody that's on the fence about this game to
Try the demo. Absolutely.
I mean, you can decide for yourself on the demo.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm glad Julian likes it.
Yeah,
it's just
that's
not
good.
for me.
That's good. Oh, do you... Ken, who we've had on before, has he played the new one?
Hated it.
Did he hate it?
Biggest UFC fan I know, he hated it.
Okay.
He's always liked the UFC games up until now.
Yeah, I was curious about that. I meant to ask you that last week, and I forgot.
Yep.
Because we had him on for one of our UFC episodes, like way back, like 2 years ago, maybe when
It's
it
the
came
only
out.
UFC one we've done.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Okay.
he wasn't a fan either.
All right.
Did you want me to pull up Julian's email from last
Yeah,
week?
because he talked about TV shows, and then there was another question he had for us for like a roundtable.
Okay.
For we'd respond to.
I think he at the bottom of that email he sent us this week recapped them.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I shall pull it back up.
Oh, Corey, did you have your top 5 co-op games that you wanted to list off?
Dan, why don't you buzz off?
I'll take that as a no.
No, he doesn't.
No. Remind me at some point.
I'll
Yeah,
remind
we'll
you
do
during the
that.
week, and we'll try and set it up for next weekend.
Okay. Yeah, what did you guys... what about you guys do you think your personality dictates your taste in games? So what about your personality gives you your taste in games?
I don't know. I play video games usually to experience a story. I don't know what about my personality that leads me there. But you know what? I'm kind of an escapist. I like to, and that's the same reason I think I like history. I like to escape the present day stuff. Not because it's bad or whatever, but I just think the time we live in is relatively uninteresting compared to stuff that happened in the past or stuff that happens in fictional universes, you know. So I guess that's my thing.
That sounds like clinical depression.
No, I'm not depressed. I just I just think the times we live in are uninteresting in general.
I think Dan. I would never categorize Dan as depressed. I think he's pretty much what he just said.
Yeah, I'm an escapist.
My girlfriend's the same way. We talked about this at the party the other day. That
Yep.
I can't date Dan because I'm not physically attracted to him.
Wow.
Well, that you guys know.
You
of.
just don't want to steal me away from my wife.
Right. He's taken and he's got kids. I can't wreck that.
Right.
So I had to find a
You don't
female
wanna be a
version of
homewrecker.
Dan, which is what my girlfriend is. So
Right.
I can appreciate what Dan's saying.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm an escapist. That's why I play video games and read up on history.
I think I'm pretty competitive, which is why I play a lot of the games I play, especially FIFA, Halo, Online. I really enjoy. FIFA's the one I always go back to though, so and I always play competitively. I
Right.
guess that would probably be my biggest thing. I do like to win.
Mm-hmm. Well, you will.
I'm kind of a combination of you two.
Yeah.
I like to get a story, but I'm also very competitive. So, yeah, combination of the two, I'd say.
Yeah. Corey?
I pretty much play games to unwind, to relax. But I also like to, I guess, I don't know how to phrase it. I kind of like to understand things. So when games that are like different or there's some kind of quirky quality to it that takes wrapping your head around, like
I see. You want to get an experience out of a game that you wouldn't experience in your life.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Like
but also a lot of it is just, because we do this podcast, like I kind of want to understand, why people like a certain game, or
Gotcha.
The direction games are going. Like it's sort of that bigger picture kind of thing that draws me to try certain games. I guess what gets me to like games, though, I don't know. I think that's kind of a different question. Was that the question?
What about your personality dictates your taste in your games?
My taste? Yeah. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know.
Well,
What do you guys think? You guys know me better than I know me.
Yeah, I think for you, like, your taste in games is so strange, and it's hard to peg, like, what... Like, there's games that I think you'll love, and you don't like it.
One of the listeners in the chat has a thought, Corey.
What's that?
He says you just like being that guy.
I don't think anybody likes being that guy.
Well, I mean, in your defense, sometimes you like to play devil's advocate.
Oh, sure.
Whether or not you necessarily agree with, your devil's advocate stance.
His advocacy.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of comes with the whole like understanding thing. Is I try to look at everything from both sides of the picture, and I guess that's what allows me to take that devil's advocate stance. Is I kind of try and see the good in everybody's everything.
Yeah.
No matter what that is.
Except the
Or
Ouya.
the bad in it if it's something we all like.
Exactly.
Yeah, you hated the Ouya.
And that's a good thing, though, Corey. And I think we all agree on that.
Yeah,
Including
definitely.
the person who said that, Mike.
Yeah.
Well,
Who
I
said the
didn't- I
podcast
didn't
is
poop.
better for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Will, I didn't poop on the Ouya just because you guys were all into it.
He
pooped
pooped on the
on it
Ouya because
'cause-
he's smarter than us.
yeah,
Will.
yeah.
I could smell a turd 2 years in the making.
Boy, did that turd smell so good to us.
Yeah. Boy, did they have us fooled.
Right by the
They
short hairs.
played us like... At least we didn't spend
I
money
was
on
just
it,
going
though.
to say, Dan, they didn't have us enough to where we bought one.
Yeah.
And have a small box collecting dust.
Yeah.
You're on the way. Luckily, Corey stepped in.
Yeah, Corey always makes me rethink life.
Yep. Well done, Corey.
I also think another thing for me with games is that I like to, even though I may not always come off this way, I do appreciate artistic ability, especially when it comes to video gaming.
Hence the indie games with the
Yeah.
really nice artwork.
Right,
in
like
them.
Journey is one of my favorite games ever, and like Child of Light,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed. And even though I don't like Valiant Hearts that much, I definitely enjoy the artistic part of it.
Yeah, the artwork's very nice.
That's another thing about me. I actually am kind of into artsy stuff,
Yeah.
even though I don't always come off that way.
Right.
I guess.
okay.
It's nice to have, in that regard, Eric, it's nice to have something to dissect a little bit and discuss.
Yeah, exactly. Because I wouldn't say I'm into like art per se, as far as
Right.
paintings. I appreciate them, but I would definitely rather go to an art museum that was full of artistic video games.
Right.
Sure.
You know.
Right.
Because that's our language. Like, we can speak that language, and I think
Right.
that's... I mean, to us, it is an art, and we can speak the video game art language just because those are our terms, you know? We know...
Corey, can you explain that to my girlfriend?
I could try.
I'd appreciate it one night.
I think a lot of people need that conversation in this world.
Yeah.
We should redo our Ambassador Games episode.
I'd have to refresh my memory on what that means.
That was the... well, I think we all took different meanings of it, but mine was... It was essentially games that you could present to someone to best represent the medium of gaming. And I think I generally focused on... I don't know. We'll have to redo that one.
Yeah, I
'Cause
remember that was early, right?
Yeah, it was midway, I would say. Maybe in the 70s or 80s. 89 sticks out for some reason.
I don't know. I think I was in... I mean, we could easily look it up. That's why we do
I'm not going
show
to,
notes
though.
and stuff. But I think I wasn't in Brooklyn for it yet, and wasn't the Brooklyn episode like 50-something?
I feel
Was
like
it
you were in
that long
Brooklyn.
ago?
I think he was in Brooklyn.
I think he was too.
I don't think so, guys.
I'm gonna guess 89 is the
Now I
episode
have
number.
to fucking look.
Yeah. I'm too lazy to do it.
really don't think so.
All right, second part of that we did not answer last week.
Yes.
Not related to games, but he would like to hear our opinion on... We in the U.S. are currently in a high-quality TV show boom. Everywhere you look, there are amazing shows. I remember my childhood, and, well, TV sucked for the most part, except for one or two shows. Do you guys have any shows from your early years that you would love to see remakes of, or shows that were ahead of their time and would be great now?
I didn't watch that much TV as a kid. I watched The Simpsons, and that's like the earliest show I could... cartoons.
I didn't watch a ton either, honestly.
I played video games
Yeah.
instead of watching a lot of television. I watched this, like I said, the thing I remember watching consistently early was The Simpsons. South Park was ahead of its time, I think.
It's still running.
Yeah, it's still going.
I don't know if I've ever talked about my love of this before, but I'm really going out here. But big Dawson's Creek fan.
Dawson's Creek, yeah.
Huge Dawson's Creek fan.
Did you like it then, though?
Oh, I loved it.
Did you? See, I didn't watch it when it was on before. I watched it when it was rerun on some channel, and I don't remember what it was, and that's when I watched it.
Yeah, that's really the only show that I remember really getting into.
We watched sports, too.
Yeah, I watched sports mostly.
Yeah,
so
same
I
here.
didn't. Yeah, sports and video games. That's same as it is now.
Yeah.
As it turns out.
Yeah. What about you, Corey?
Well, Tito brings up a good one in the chat. He says Freaks and Geeks.
I never watched that.
I don't know. They're sort of remaking one of my favorite shows now. It's called Girl Meets World.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's not really the same. But I totally agree with his sentiment there that we're in a TV boom. There's so much good TV.
You know, and I didn't realize that honestly until I finally installed that fucking HBO Go app on my PS3 the other day. I was like, oh, I want to watch this show. Oh shit, I want to watch this show.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one I want to
Yep.
watch. And I was like, oh,
There's
man.
a lot of good stuff out there
Yeah.
now.
I mean, back when we were kids, it was Sopranos. That was it.
No, that wasn't even when we were kids.
Yeah, it was. 90s.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah.
It was episode 97, by the way, fellas.
Okay. It was Ambassador Games. Gotcha. Well, I feel like The Sopranos was like when I was graduating from high school.
Sopranos is on HBO Go too. That's another one I got to get into. I'd probably
That's
love
actually on Amazon Instant.
it. Or no. Oh wait, all of it?
I don't know. Actually, Dan, you're right. It's 99.
Well, you said 90s. That's earlier than I would have thought. I would have guessed like 2001 is when it started. But
Ended in 2007.
I love a good mob film.
But even so, yeah, I mean, good TV started probably with what AMC was doing, right?
yeah,
Cable network-wise.
yeah.
With Breaking Bad and,
HBO's had good shows for a while now, though.
yeah.
Starting with The Sopranos. Yeah, and Comedy Central with South Park. I mean, that's been around for a
FX
while.
has
But
had some good ones.
yeah,
Always
ABC
Sunny.
Family.
Justified's decent.
Archer. I love Archer. There's good stuff out there.
But yeah. Nothing
Lots of
really
good
from my
stuff.
past. I don't want them to remake Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, I feel like they would ruin a lot of things
my
if they tried
God,
to
absolutely.
remake them.
I'd watch
Dawson's-
anything with James Vanderbeek.
Dawson's Creek ruined Dawson's Creek by the ending of the show.
Right.
I refuse
Da-
to believe that that's how it ended.
Yeah.
Doesn't Dawson Creek die?
The creek itself or Dawson?
The creek dries up.
The creek done dried up.
Dawson drowns himself in the creek.
No, he doesn't.
That would be a great ending to that series.
No, it wouldn't.
I agree. That'd
That's
be
what I
interesting.
wanted to do after I saw the ending. was
and
drown
then
myself.
and then everybody would be like, "Oh, that's why it's called Dawson's Creek."
Actually, last time I watched it again, I stopped after the 4th season because I liked the way that ended, and that was the ending I wanted.
There you go.
So,
What happens? I don't even know.
got your Dawson's Creek fill for the evening.
What happens? I don't know. I've never seen it.
Well, I don't want to ruin it for everyone.
Just watch it.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Just watch it.
I'm too busy watching Pretty Little
good.
Liars.
It's
Yeah,
good.
straight up your alley, really.
Oh,
Katie
really?
Holmes is in it.
A young Katie Holmes.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know. What's his name? Joe Jackson? Jackson,
Charlie
Conway.
I was going to say Pacey.
Pacey Witter.
Charlie Conway.
What's his
Yeah.
real name? Something Jackson. Bo
don't-
Jackson?
Just gonna say Bo Jackson.
I don't know.
Michael Bo Jackson is all I can think of. I know that's not it.
Joshua Jackson.
Joshua
Joshua
Jackson.
Jackson.
Yep.
Bo Jackson.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all I got for TV.
Same.
Didn't watch that much. I probably watched more than I think I did, but I don't remember anything that I watched.
know I watched more. I think I did.
Yeah.
I was really into WWE back in the day.
Yeah, I watched that too.
It's another one I don't really like to talk about.
It was fun.
Well, yeah, I mean, back then.
Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts?
Hey,
I think we'll call it an episode,
I
right?
think so.
Bedtime.
Put a bow on it.
Yeah. We hope to have a topic a little sooner so we can let people know for next week, but who knows what's going to happen with that.
I like deciding day of podcast.
When does Last of Us come out?
Next Tuesday. Do you want to do an episode on it, though? Because we
No.
kind of already did.
No, I was just wondering.
Yeah. Yeah, Tuesday it comes out.
Okay.
So I will be playing it all Tuesday night into Wednesday.
Beautiful.
So
Okay. Never mind.
yeah, that'll do it for episode 157 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
America.
Will.
Corey.
And Neil signing out.
Thanks for listening, and get out of my basement.
1, 2,